Because the StreamYard link on my email here is not coming up properly. It says download image.
No worries. If you can do it like that, that's fine. That's fine.
No problem.
Okay, we're live. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, rabbil alameen, wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah. We are back with a few technical issues in the beginning. We're live now. Today we have a special guest, mashallah, Musa Sabuga. Yeah, did I pronounce that correct?
That's correct. No N,
Mashallah.
silent N.
Silent
Mashallah.
N. I remember that. You told me that a while ago, so I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the founder of Reso. Also, was you one of the founders of Revert to Islam?
No. What do you mean roadside to Islam?
The roadside to Islam.
No. Roadside to Islam is just changing. I wasn't one of them. No, I wasn't. I was just like I was there from the early start of the organization, and I just feel like I supported it. But Abu Bakr would say that it's not his project and it's all of our project, but he was definitely the founder.
Abu Bakr, okay. No, but I see on your Instagram you got Revert to Islam, so I get them two mixed up. Revert to Islam is not an organization then?
No. Revert to Islam is just me, man. It's just my journey. You know what I'm saying? It was clear. At them early days, I was still fresh. I came from an era where you don't put your government name online.
Okay. You're safe now. You can put it up there now. No problem.
Now I'm safe. But now I've had to update it. You see it?
So listen, so officially you're a civilian, yeah?
I'm a civilian. I'm officially a civilian.
Jade. And once again, we have with us AR Sense, mashallah. Assalamu alaikum, brother. How's things?
Salam. Alhamdulillah.
Okay, we got a very, very important topic to discuss. About developing the Muslim community mindset. We've been speaking about this amongst ourselves. We're just waiting for Abedullah to come in. And obviously, the context of South London and what's been happening over the years, there's been plenty of discussion, plenty of issues. I think South London is unique. The dynamics are quite unique, actually. And we have to get into that subject. But from my perspective, there's been a lot of ups and downs, a lot of fitna, and people are generally not happy with the development of what's happened in South London. They see potential, but they see a lack of development. I think it's a discussion that we need to have and to explore and see what we can do going forward. Obviously, Musa, you're in South London. I mean, your company's in South London. Do you actually live in South?
Yeah. South is where I grew up. So
okay,
I'm based in South, grew up in South, family in South. But as an individual, my head's all over the place. Like sometimes I move in it, I don't stay. So I've got my own apartment right now. I'm currently in East London. But South is home, man.
Good. Abdul Rahim.
Yo.
Born and bred in South?
Yeah. Been there all my life.
Been all life doing business there. Took Shahada there.
Everything.
Everything there.
That's it.
Okay. Give me some perspective of Muslim development in South London. How do you think it has been, and where does it need to go? I'm gonna give it to AR Sense first, and then Musa can come bring his perspective.
Okay, guys, I'm listening. I'm here. I'm just trying to find something else that's gonna make my life better.
So let me get the question again, please.
Give your perspective on the Muslim development within South London. You might say its achievements and its failures. And the reason why I'm saying is if you admit your failures, you know where to change. If you hide your failures, you won't change.
100%.
So discuss about its development over the years, what needs to be and what you would like to see, so that we can actually focus and change the mindset to get things done. It's a big thing, big question.
Yeah, it's a big question. where to
But what would
start.
you like to see? What would you like to see? Now you're a family man now, been Muslim a while now. What do you think is missing to help you and your family and children grow within South London as a Muslim?
The word community, obviously, we've gone through it many times, but it's community. Like I said, obviously, we're not all going to see eye to eye. But like I explained last time, community is a group of people, individuals, etc., that have common interests and common goals. So it's like, as a people, if we don't have common interests or common goals, you know, the first point of call for us as Muslims should be, you know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Islam. So if we don't have that common interest and common goal, we're kind of done for. So that's what it is first and foremost. And I feel like when you're coming into something, so, you know, like if anyone's seen the interview that me and you had, I explained that when we came into Islam, like there wasn't really that much direction, you know. There was a lot of direction on, you know, trying to be the best Muslim, but there was no direction of being a Muslim in its holistic entirety. Do you see where I'm coming from?
In the
There was
community.
more of, there was more of being a Muslim as in learning your religion, you know. So make sure you learn Arabic, you can read Quran, get married or fast, you know, those sort of things there. But there wasn't no, you know, pattern up yourself.
How to integrate into society.
How to integrate, but how to be integrating into even a household. Because like I said, most men have come from the roads. So we're coming with a lot of baggage. You know,
Gotcha.
We don't really know how to treat women. We don't know what marriage is. We don't know how to cohabit with a partner, because most of us has just been in situations where we're just linking or we're just stopping by air and then we're cutting again and this and that. And even if we have children, we don't really check for our children because we don't know what that really is. We ain't seen it ourselves. So that being said, it's like you need to even tell us before you're even trying to get married. So, you know, the uncles were saying, raw, if you can't get married, then fast. And if you have the ability to, then get married. You know, you needed to be telling us before all of that, you know, work on yourself, you know, work on your mindset, you know, try to understand what a partner is, like being a husband is, that role, etc., what a father is, that role, you know. And then not only that, it's about how are you making your money? You know, it's easy to tell a man, stop selling the drugs, stop robbing the man, rare. But then you're not really pushing, you know, whether it's education, whether it's a good job, a career, foundations, etc. Because I don't know, maybe the elders didn't know that themselves, but it's like the blind was leading the blind. And that's what I kind of got from it. Because when I'm looking back now, I'm thinking, wait, hold on. We've had so much years, but there's no real structure, you know, and we're still in situations where even though we've had years, we're still struggling with not only unity, but being able to say, raw, as a collective, all right, we need 10 grand. All right, boom, let's get that together. Do you see where I'm coming from? So, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
I mean, just to kind of put things in perspective, taking my shahada in Brixton at age of 18, the people who eventually got into the masjid in the management, some of them was a few years older than me, if you get what I'm saying. And you know, when Mr. Abdul Haq Baker got into the masjid, although people may have been, you know what I say, streetwise, they weren't community wise. People didn't have an idea of how to build a community. That's a big, you needed another generation older in order to take on that role. That's my kind of reason as to why nothing was really built, because that first generation didn't have a Salaf that they could look to and lean upon. They might say they were the first. So they're coming into it new. And then what happened is, when the time come to make hijrah, everyone make hijrah. When the fitna came, make hijrah and left pieces, left things in pieces. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
That's why I
but
said, let me finish. Hold on a bit. I know you got all your things to say. So my point is, it ain't no excuse. Blame will go where blame will go. Do you get what I'm saying? I ain't making it. I'm saying what happened. So because of the fitna between the people, this man left, that man left. No one stayed to build. And then the next generation come, which is you, man. Right? Your age, the ball's left to you guys to pick up the pieces.
Sorry, let me quickly say something real quick, yeah.
Yeah, go on. So I'm just giving some historical context.
You've just given some context, yeah. But
Yeah.
upon the context that you've just given, okay. So where we've jumped in, we've been left shards and glass. You get me? We're cutting ourselves. It's all sloppy. It's all mad. Yeah. You see, like we're in a situation right now where we might have vision and we might say, Raj, you know what? In what we can see, we want to move this direction and we want to do this and we want to do that. But then we still have the people that have left us shards and glass with our hands bloody, still intervening and still not allowing us to take that torch and run and be the torch bearers. So it's like you didn't really give anything to, you know, have that solid foundation. But then when we're trying to do our thing now, it's like you still don't want to let go. So it's like you can't have your cake and eat it too.
Just to carry on the conversation, my mindset is, if you want to do something, you got to get up and do it yourself. There's no looking to lean on, because as you said, the shards of glass. There's no one really can say, well, I'm going to go and lean on that man. No, you got to get up and do it yourself. You are the man. You are the people. There's no one to look to. That's just a reality. Do you get what I'm saying? Musa?
Yeah.
What do you think?
So for me, I feel like a lot can be said about what's gone before. But I feel like dealing with the media and what is in front of us now is, and what I like to say to my peers is that the not the excuse, but I say that the fact that we're able to shift blame, which rightly so, in certain aspects we can, but we're fastly approaching, if not already approached, the ages where we have children and we're statesmen of the community, and we're quickly following in the footsteps of the ones that we once blamed. You know what I'm saying? And I think, because from the minute I walk in the masjid and the young boys are saying, yo, what's going on, uncle? You're right, uncle. Everything's
uncle on you, yeah?
Yeah, once they've uncled me, everything's changed. So now those young boys are looking at me as that guy. So then what happens is that those young boys are about to start making the same statements that my generation made regarding my group of individuals. What are we doing for the community? What have we done for the community? What have we created? What paths have we shown them in terms of being able to do what's right and to kind of move in the right direction? And yesterday I was at a dinner with Amir Loon, who's been doing a tour here. And there's something that he mentioned and something we were discussing about the issues of our communities. And when we say our community, we mean the Black Muslim community, because we understand and we get it that the biggest, fundraising or donor community in the whole United Kingdom is the Muslim community. We raise over some 500 million every year, and 80% of that goes out of the country to different parts of the world. A lot of that goes to South Asia, or goes to the Asian community, as they're the majority here. And rarely do you find, for example, one of the things we said is that you could go into the Asian community and go into their masjids, and they've already got the, you know, like wireless taps. You just put your hand there, the water comes out, you know, the toilets are flushing on their own, and then you're coming to our community and some of the taps are not working and ABC. So the question we're saying is, how many times do you see that within the Muslim community that a said group will use their donations to uplift another community? You know what I'm saying? You rarely see that. People are not doing that. As much as we might talk about unity, but you're not going to see like that. You're not going to see, for an example, not saying this is just to make an example, East London Mosque say, you know what, we've got more than enough now, we're doing well. What other Muslim communities can we upbring so that their standard is always is similar to ours? Because what we do is that when you create a bubble as a Muslim community, once you create that bubble, if you live long enough in it, that bubble then becomes your prison.
Yeah.
Because you're scared to let your kids out of this bubble that you've created. Because as soon as your son says he's going to the shop, or your daughter, you're like, what? How long are you going for? Like, what shop are you going to?
Yeah,
So all of a sudden, this bubble that you've created for them, because you haven't helped the outside community, it's not safe. You know what I'm trying to say? But one thing that we mentioned yesterday is that, as we know from the Salaf, is that, is that our neighbors is 40 to the right, 40 to the left, 40 to the front, 40 to the back. That's your whole end. It's not just who lives next door to you. So if you have that same approach to your neighbors, who is basically your borough that you live in, and you try to uplift it and make that your bubble, then you're not worried when your kids are in the borough going up and down doing what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the time we're creating these bubbles and we're doing what we're doing for ourselves. So the Asian community have done that to an extent, but now their kids have stepped outside the bubble. They get scared. They call in the reverts that's always lived outside the bubble, that understood it. We lived out and came into your bubble, but we go in and out. We frequent both sides a lot of the time. So then they call us in to try and fix up the issues that their kids are getting up to outside of this bubble that they created. But one of the things that we mentioned is that we're giving our children, and in our community especially, as many of us had, we're picking up wrong career choices. And I feel like that's one thing that they're good in that community, is that they set the career path for the young people. They don't, a lot of us are on this, what do you want to do? Like, we're giving people options at 16 years old, 15 years. What is it you want to do? They've just come out of adolescence, they're still in it, and we're asking them, what do they, as if we haven't lived this life and have seen the obstacles. Like, no one knows the obstacles better than us. Our daughters and sons don't know the obstacles of, if I end up being, I'm going to do business on its own. They don't know what we already know, that degree ain't going to get you anywhere. So why are we allowing them to just go in and do that degree? Whereas from the Asian community, I know people that go into becoming school teachers because their family business is tuition. They don't care how everyone else sees it. They just know, my son's going to be a qualified teacher by the age of 22. He's then going to teach within the schools in the borough. He's going to climb up to be maybe a second deputy or whatever, and try to be the headmaster. And he's also going to support our private tuition program that we got across the borough, helping all these kids. That's our family business. So they're not afraid. Meanwhile, we got our kids studying something which has got nothing to do with the price of Apple. We just got, as long as it's a degree. You know what I'm saying? And that's how now you're finding a lot. So an example, so what I say is this: when they're doing fundraising in the community and 23-year-olds plus are on 50 grand a year, they can put their hand up as 23 and say, I'll put 10 bags to the masjid.
100%. You know
what I'm saying? They can put their hand up and donate because they're making the right career choices. Whereas our 23-year-olds are still on this, the careers are not made clear for them by their parents and the community, because we're not pushing for certain spaces. That's the first one. And then secondly, quickly, I will let you get in, Ubaydullah, is that because of that, we're still maybe just pushing them in Islamic studies as if it's not conducive as a whole to have everything. That's why when you find yourself, when I remember when I first became Muslim and we used to go to Muslim countries, whether it was like Egypt or Saudi, the scholars would say, but why is it just like Islamic studies you lot are just pursuing? Where's the other, like, where's the dunya part of it? Where's your, like, your secular education? Because
Study.
that's just part and parcel. Because they used to say, when you go to school, you don't just study science, you study science, maths, geography. It goes, Islam and Islamic studies is just one part of that. You should be able to study 5 or 6 subjects at once. Why is it you just hold on to this? I'm going to study Quran and I can't do Quran, geography, maths, science. You know what I'm trying to say? And I feel again, and that's one of the issues I'll say again is bad career choices for our community. Because if we want to make sure that we don't fall into these spaces, we need to give our young people advice on the career paths that they're taking so they can be 23, 24. Because to be honest, I'll be honest with you, a 50K salary is very standard. A 40K salary is very standard. It's not, in the time we're living in, it's not a difficult salary to have. A young person at the age of 23, 24, graduated in something that actually makes sense, should be earning up, standing in his first job, 30K a year. And if he's still at his parents' house and he doesn't have the bills to pay and that, and they're supporting him, he should be able to stand up in the masjid and say, hold 5 bags. If we've got our young people donating 5 grand to the masjid, we're in a different space, because then the elders and everyone else. But when we got our young people with like disillusionalized with the directions they're going and what they're doing, because we're not channeling in terms of what they should be doing. We know the fields that are able to make young people money and are able to get them in at a nice wage early and straight up, then we're going to find ourselves in the same problems. Because where do you expect these young people to get this money from to uplift our community? Because what is missing is money. There ain't no 2 ways about it.
Yeah,
but also I'm letting you come, but also the fact that I'll let you come. Also the fact that obviously with that money, you got to be a professional to earn that money. So that professionalism, meaning you've had experience in management, you've had experience running a school, managing teams of people, setting tasks, objectives. You get what I'm saying? Because if you're going to get that money, you're going to have to go into some kind of professional job where you know you can manage teams, you know how to run a charity, you know how to work in a team. Because I'm just to be real, you know, back in the days when you're trying to sort out something, there's an argument message up, I'm gone. You get what I'm saying? There was too many meetings where things were just not managed properly, and that comes down to a lack of education, lack of experience. That's just a reality. That is just a reality. One of the failings is that not having professional people, enough professional people within the community, and to get them things done. Okay, Fadl Ubaidullah. How you doing, brother? How's things? How's your day? How's life? How's the family? You're good, yeah?
Good, man.
I see you doing good, brother. I see you doing good, mashallah. Man, I bless you, brother.
I'm trying that. But yeah, to add to what Musa was saying and Abdul Rahim, like I think that we're starting from a place of no dads. So having a career path, that's like a step up. Like for me personally, it's like I'm starting from before even, like I ain't got no parent. So it's like, okay, like I'm trying to, you see what I'm saying? It's like thinking about a career path, that's the least of my worries. Like I'm trying to actually, you know, it's like a lot of people are suffering from like drug abuse and you know, like post-traumatic stress from growing up on the streets without no parents. So it's like we're trying to just, for me personally, it's like trying to build a foundation within my mind and my soul first. You see what I'm saying? And then it's like, and then after, so for me, I'm looking at the community, I'm looking at the black community, yeah, the Muslim black community, to say, okay, boom, like you've joined Islam before me, so you've healed before me, you've built before me, so therefore you've done something before me for me to say, okay, yeah, boom, like you're gonna show me the ropes, you're gonna pass the torch.
They should have.
But yeah, it's almost nothing was done. So it's like, for me, I'm doing that now by myself, yeah. But it's like you guys are doing it as well, Alam Mubarak. And I feel like what I've realized now is it's like, for me, it's easy to build a business by myself. No, it's easy to build a business, by yourself. Easy to build a business by yourself, but to build a proper company, like, you need people. So it's like, I need to, have people to build. Like, I need people, and I've realized that within the community, it's the same thing. Like, I can't build a community by myself. Like, I need people. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, just to realize, like, we actually need each other. Like, I might not like you. You might not like me. You might be like, obey the law. You might obey the law. Say this. I don't like obey the law. He's like this. He's like that. But you need me, and I might not like you because you're like this and you're like that. But I need you. So it's like, for me, I just feel like it's kind of like we're putting our personal feelings aside to get like greater goals accomplished. Because for me, it's like, this is what Islam should do as well. It's like, if we love Islam, we should be able to put our own little feeling aside to say, you know what, I love Islam enough to say, you know what, let's build this Muslim community as like, as like, like we're guessing to Islam. So it's like, let's lay down some history. So when we die, it's like, wow, like, look what the Sahabas laid down. Like, look at all these great people that joined Islam. They joined Islam. Islam made them greater people. They laid down these foundations. And it's like, we should join Islam, lay down this great legacy. So then when we die now, it's like we've passed this legacy on to the next generation. Like, I think that's just a normal process of being a Muslim. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
A couple of points on that. I'm just going to comment on a couple of points. One, you mentioned a lot of the reverts, you might say, have come to the deen with trauma, maybe one-parent families, so they haven't had that focus in regards to finishing their schooling,
there's no support,
career, there's no support, whatever. So that's, you can say, that's a problem we have. Which
the Asian community, the Asians stay in their families. The Asians support each other. Like, for example, even within the Muslim community, I don't know whether it's a black issue, but even within in the Muslim black community, I don't know whether it's acceptable for brothers to think it's okay to marry the sister, breed a divorcer. It's like, all you're doing is creating fatherless children that's gonna grow up like me. So it's like, it's kind of like we have to tackle this problem of like men as well, thinking that it's like, bruv, you have to stand by your family, like, even if you're not with the woman or whatever, like, it's like, bro, you can't just have children and then you can't support them and guide them. Like, that's not how it works. Because now you've left a problem in this world. And it's like, a lot of brothers is having children and they're going to Gambia, for example. Bruv, you can't be having children and flying to another continent, bro, because you left a problem in the UK now. You see what I'm saying? Because that young man got testosterone and he's running around wild and lost without no one caring and loving him. And you see what I'm saying? So it's like, we have to keep like our men as well. Like, it's like, we have to stick with our families and stick with our, and it's kind of like put self-esteem into our tribe. You see what I'm saying? Like, teach our tribe the values. Like, we're meant to lead our tribe. And I feel like I don't know if it's a wider black community issue where it's like, man think it's okay to just be having children and just creating destabilized, dysfunctional communities, because a family is a husband and a wife, a man and a woman. And the Asian community, they know that, like, they stick together. They have their husbands or wives, their grandmas and grandpas, and from that family unit, that's how they build their businesses, and that's how they build, because they're loyal to each other. They're loyal from the family. So then it's like the loyalty, it just breeds loyalty. But when it's like your own parents ain't loyal, your own people, your own race ain't loyal, it's like me growing up here. I used to look at I think a lot of violence and things from black people, it's a hatred and a resentment, because it's like, I used to personally, like, I would resent black people because it's like, the person who's supposed to love me abandoned me and left me. So if I see someone that looks like me, I'm angry now. So I want to take my anger out on you. So it's kind of like, we're not teaching our children and our young men to have that self-love, to have that value. So when we see another person that looks like us, we see them with love. Like, we don't see them with resentment or hurt or pain or anger. We see them with love. You see what I'm saying? Like, I think there's a lot of effects of like of like
Upbringing
the
and
breakup
stuff.
of the breakup of the family and the dad not being there, and you know, like I think it's that for me that's a big issue.
Hey, Yasin, what do you think? What do you think has holding us back from putting the pieces together and moving together more positively? You know, if you know what some of the issues are, why can't we put these pieces together and start moving even better for the next generation?
We need to address the culture.
We have to do it. We have to do it. It's like, as you said, we want to leave something behind that we can say, like, yeah, we've done something. You get what I'm saying? So it's not no point saying, you know, crying about issues. What we're gonna do?
Go on, what are you saying? Just the culture. Go on. What are you saying about the culture?
Do you know what it is? Like, obviously, we're reverts, innit? Yeah. We have come into Islam, like Ubaidullah said, and we ain't really had no direction in it. But we've come with baggage. The baggage that we've come with is our culture. Do you see where I'm coming from? The culture that we've been born and raised with, especially as men, is a culture of being a gallus. You see where I'm coming from? Having lots of women. Like when we come into Islam, Islam says that you can have more than one woman, wife. Do you see where I'm coming from? And it's like we adopt it, but we don't adopt it fully. Because Islam says, we can have more than one wife if we can be just, i.e. if we can treat them the same to reasonable means, but we can, you know, provide for them the same, etc., etc. But we kind of forget one part of that, i.e. the providing, the nurturing, the emotional, the physical, and all those things there. And we just think about the woman thing. Do you see where I'm coming from? So it's a culture that we've had previously that we brought into Islam, you know, and I feel like that's that. And there's a lot of other cultural issues that we need to
lack of accountability act as well. Like, you know, like even this no snitching thing. For me, it's like, bruv, like, see this, like, for example, that's one where it's like, bruv, like, you're not allowed to speak on what's right, bro. Like, you're not allowed to speak on like what's good or what's right, because that's deemed as like you're a snitch, bro.
But do you know what it is? It's about what people believe snitching is. Do you see where I'm coming from? And if you're in and out, then you're a snitch. Do you see where I'm coming from? Because you're in and you're out.
Give me some context here. I'm kind of lost.
So watch it. For me personally, a man that is a snitch is a person that's in. So if me and Musa are going to go and do a little robbery, etc., yeah. So we know what we're getting ourselves into. Yeah.
Muslims will say that, bro. I'm saying brothers that become Muslim. I've heard brothers say, "Oh, it's like, bro, these brothers are robbing banks, bro." It's like you're against the police, but it's like, bro, these men are robbing banks. So what do you want the police to do? You want, like, you're Muslim. What? It's like man's confused out. It's like, what side of the fence you want? It's like
that's what I'm saying. Man's in and man's out. So like I was explaining, it's like if you're in a certain mix, me and Musa's going to go and do a robbery now, and we get to the robbery, we lick it off, and Musa gets nicked. Now, sometime down the line, he wants to talk about AR.Sense was there. Do you see where I'm coming from? You're a snitch. You're a snitch because we both knew what we was doing. Now, if I'm rolling with Ubaidullah now, and I'm a 9-to-5er, I'm doing a sensible choice thing or whatever.
But that's part of the problem. As a Muslim, can you be? That's what I'm saying. Though it's like, bruv, if I said right, Musa was. I'm just giving you an example. Musa was with me. In the eyes of Islam, I've done the right thing, bro. I've testified to what's right. I've bear testimony to the truth.
So I hear where you're coming from. I hear where you're coming from. But this is where I'm saying you can't be in and out.
Yeah, you got to be in.
You can't be in and out because if you're doing up road, and then when things get on tops, you want to talk about Allah says to tell the truth even if it's against yourself, brother. Wait, hold on. Just a minute ago, you weren't saying that when we were just about to go when we banged off this thing.
But
you see where I'm coming from. So that's what I'm saying. You gotta know what side of the fence you're trying to be on.
But I think,
that's one example. That's one example. But I'm saying as well, like just like, for example, calling out men who aren't good dads, for example, it's like, you know, it's kind of like it's like accountability, holding each other to accountability. It's like we have an issue with that, I think, as well. You see what I'm saying?
Okay. Obviously, it goes about hikmah, innit? Having wisdom on how we're gonna do things. You know, we can all just call out names and say this person doing that person doing this, rare. But is it for that person? Is the wisdom behind it, like you just calling them out blatant like that? Is it really gonna make them change their ways? Because if it's not gonna make them change their ways, is it productive? You just calling somebody's name out.
Yeah, no, it's true. But then saying nothing about, like, for me, I could be walking blind, bro. I could be walking blind. Yeah, it's like, okay, bruv, I'm telling you, bruv, like, I could be walking blind and no one ain't saying nothing to me. No one ain't telling me nothing. You see what I'm saying? That no one ain't telling me, obey the law. You know what you're doing is wrong, and it could be because they're scared of the people. Could be like, oh, you're scared, like, bro. Bruv, what you're doing ain't part of Islam, bro. Like, I know, like, people scared of you because you're a gang member in the streets, but bro, you're claiming you're Muslim, you're out here screaming Islam, and people can see you on Instagram and YouTube, and you're rapping and you're singing and you're dancing, and people know. It's like, bro, what is no one gonna try and rectify our brothers and say, brother, like, what you're doing it's an oxymoron. You can't be a Muslim and a musician. You see what I'm saying? And it's kind of like we're not doing the right thing by helping up. Remember, Allah says, in it, like, I think the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says, you stop your brother when he's the oppressor or the oppressed. So it's like, if a man's out there doing the wrong thing, it's like we're not saying nothing. We're not saying, yo, act, what you're doing is wrong. We're just leaving brothers to just do what they're doing.
Okay. Question. I mean, definitely the community is varied and people are doing different things and whatever. But my perception is there are enough men married, good men, married, stable within the community. But why isn't it that we're not building? Because in the community you're gonna get people doing X, Y, Z and whatever. But as for men of our age or your age, there's enough men around to say, well, okay, are we looking at this responsibility, or are we just saying, well, you know, I'm saving me and my family and I'm gone East London, I'm gone Saudi, and they're not looking back at the shards of glass from how many centuries? Why aren't those brothers taking on that responsibility and building what needs to be built within the community?
I think it goes back to what Musa said, like, you know, about career paths, etc. Because I believe that the reason why the community is not getting built in a certain way, because man just don't have no money for it, bruv. Do you get me? Man ain't looking to put money with a next man over there and because if the thing goes bust and it doesn't work out to the best of their ability, a man's just put his whole life savings, which could only be 10 bags, but that's his thing. Like, he's been saving that 10 bags for a long period of time. Why? Because the majority of us have come from, like I said, road and rare, not a good education. So man hasn't really got jobs like that.
See that thing? No, but you see that thing where the brothers raised the money recently for that thing that happened in the community, and the brother dusts out with the money or whatever. Yeah. For me, it's like, brother, a lot of people's putting money, and I hear brothers is remortgaging their house and doing all these things. So there's money, but then it's like, you see those situations there, like I said in the last time we had the conversation, it's like, bro, I can give you 5 bags or 10 bags. But it's like, bro, I don't trust you, so I'm not going to give you 5 or 10 bags. I don't trust what you're going to do with the money. You don't know what to do with money. So why would I give you money? Like, you don't know what to do with money. Just from historically, like, there's no plan. Like, you see people that know how to use money, like, they'll give you a plan, like, this is the business plan, this is the goal, this is the strategy, this is the idea. But there's none of that. And then when people do give money, the money is like people that you think, okay, the brother who took the money that in the masjid, brother, he's not from the road. So it's like, bro, it's kind of like, I don't think
is there a lack of trust? Is there a lack of trust If there's no
there's
trust, how are you going to sit down with a man and build? If there's no trust,
pardon.
how are you going to sit down with a man and build something if there's no trust? You don't trust him to
That's what I'm
give
saying.
grand. They say,
That's
well, you're
key.
building that.
Yeah, it's foundation. It's like our wife, isn't it? Like the way to build with our wives is like if you don't trust your wife don't trust you. That's where there's a problem. Like there's a breakdown in this marriage. Because if I'm a good man and you don't trust me, now there's a problem. So it's the same with the community. It's like if we're gonna build a family as a community, because we're a family, I can't build with people like someone I can't trust, and you can't build if you don't trust me. So it's straight away from the root. It's like we're messed up from the root. You see what I'm saying?
You can't move without trust. You can't move.
Yeah, it's like we have to build that.
Is there a lack of trust in the community? Is there a lack of trust? Like, if you don't have the ability, you don't have the experience to do anything. So why are we working together if I don't trust you?
I think there is, man, but I feel like obviously when we talk about the community, there's so many facets to it that it's easy to go down different kind of rabbit holes in terms of what the issues are. Is it marriage? Is it business? Is it leadership? Is it structure? You know what I'm saying? Is it schooling and education? But again, I just feel like as people who are present and are present today in terms of, you know, what's happening and what's going on and are leading, I just feel like I said earlier, it's very easy for us to become we're already that generation anyway. So it's very easy for us to be those uncles in brackets who didn't support this next generation that's coming up under us. Because I always say to people, and this is something me and Abu Bakr talk about in terms of organizations, is that if your organization doesn't have the blueprint and you don't have the book that you can just pass on to someone else that can just come in and then run your organization, run it better, or even build something better, then what have you actually built? Because if a lot of us have businesses and organizations, if we die today, everything dies with us.
Yeah.
We haven't left the blueprint. We haven't. So you haven't done much. Even if you're not helping anyone, but you've got a blueprint and you've got a structure of how to do it, you should be able to step away and it continues to run, it continues to flourish. You know what I'm trying to say? So that's one of the main things. So like for me, when I see people getting busy, I just say, you know what, keep on being busy, keep on doing what you're doing. You just make sure you acquire the blueprint so you can pass that on to the next people that's coming after you. But a lot of the time, if you're going to have to sit someone down and say, boy, you know what, it weren't easy, you know, I had to do it the hard way. And like, you're just going to have to go out there and learn. It's not, you're just talking now. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? What we need is, what he needs is tell the young man, what's your email? I'm going to send you over some information, how to get started, how to start this process. It's a step-by-step guide of how to acquire and build your own organization. And if you follow this, you can be successful with what Allah permits. But you have to be on it and ready to do it. And I feel like when you have those type of structures and things that are built, then it's easy for us to start growing the community. But then again, like I said, we know there's so many brothers that I know in the community and sisters who have degrees and are not working in the field that they graduated in. They don't have the work, whether they're doing deliveries and whether they're doing Uber. These are guys that are highly educated. So education is not enough. Just to be educated is not enough. We have a load of people in the masjid in our community who have degrees. They're educated, but they're not working in the field that they qualified in, because that field. Yeah, but that field, that's one way, but that field isn't a field. So example, there's entrepreneurs and intrapreneurs. An entrepreneur is something that I've explored with Reso, where, example, and a lot of people do this all the time. They sell their organization on to a global consortium or a massive brand. Like example, Nike comes and acquires Reso, and then Nike hires me as the director of Reso because they know it can't work without me. So they give me £3 million for it. Then they put me on a wage of $500,000 a year to continue to do what they're doing. That's an entrepreneur. So you've just acquired a relationship and a partnership with a major organization that you know can make things work. And there's some jobs out there that are just also just efficient, whether it's like coding and working with, with Apple and eBay and Google and all of these crazy, massive organizations. But I just feel like it's letting the young people know where the fields are that are in need of people, educated people, and where also race ain't going to be an issue. Because if you have the know-how, especially in technology, then people are just signing you up. And then you look at something like coding, the average wage for doing something like that for Apple is straight 70K, regardless of your age and where you are. So you have a young person on that already. And I said again, that's that same young person that'll be able to put his hand up and be able to put that money forward. But sadly, again, I feel like when we say education and we're not clear on what we're saying, our young people just think, okay, as long as I go uni and get my degree, I've done my thing. But uni isn't for everyone, especially if you're going to go into, like, how can we let a young person who's 18 years old, go into a 60K debt, not being clear on what he wants to do? Do you know what I'm trying to say? So before he's even jumped off, he's already owing government 60 grand. And he's not even clear on what he wants to do. It's better. And we've seen, and what's mad for me is that we've seen mature students, after understanding how this dunya works, go and achieve great things. We've seen people go to uni at 25 years old, come out at uni at 28, 29, because they were more mature and understood what they wanted to do and what they wanted to get the qualification for and what the outcome looked like. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to force our kids into university at 18, 19 years old. We can let them get into work, understand how the real world goes. And we can then let them get to that age of 24, 25 and say, you know what? I've liked this media work that I've been doing and editing and stuff like that. I think I need a degree to take me to a different wage bracket. I've been working for a media company for this time doing, a low position job. They've told me if I get a degree, they can push me up. I'm 23 years old. Let me go to uni now, get what I want to get, because they're more clear on what they want to do. You know what I'm trying to say? Because a lot of the time we're just sending our young people in there. They're coming out 24, and a lot of them, they get depressed, stressed, frustrated. They start smoking weed. I'm seeing kids now who've never smoked their whole life come out of uni and college, 23, 24, and start smoking at that age. You know what I'm saying? Where they went through the but also that stress and that depression of imagine you've been told by your whole family and everyone around you, get the degree. That's the way forward. You get the degree and then there's no work. There's no opportunity.
Do you know what I see? You see the mindset of, because I think when we our first episode, I think we was talking about money, and I was talking money. Yeah, to understand we need dough to build physical infrastructure. We need money. I think a lot of us demonize money and demonize the love for having money and the need for money. Like I do think that's a problem as well. It's like it's like you were saying earlier about people. Oh yeah, let's do Islamic studies. The scholars are saying, oh, what are you man on? You man just studying Islam over there. These are we're the scholars over here got Islam. We're getting this paper over here. It's like, what, you man just over here sitting over here at the feet of scholars? It's like, what you man on? Like, so they understand, like, you need to be getting this money. And I think, like, I think we kind of demonize, I think poor people do that as well. It's kind of like you get rich and, like, like you get rich and switch, and it's kind of like people that's got money, they're stuck up, and, like, it's kind of like, man, it's kind of like there's this kind of thing around having money, I think, as well, that I think is like, it's kind of demonized to have big paper. Like, we can't be millionaires and still be normal people. Like, there's people in this world, there's multi-millionaires, millions of millionaires in this world, and they're just living normal life. See what I'm saying? So I think that culture as well of, like, loving money. Because one time we was in Nando's, I don't know if he was there, Abdul Rahim, but we were having this conversation with a brother, I'm not going to say his name, but he was arguing for the point of being poor. And I'm saying to him, yo, brother, I'm arguing for the point of, like, getting this money. And he's proper arguing for the point of being poor, yeah? And then after this conversation was finished, like, basically, when we left Nando's, the brother asked me for a lift home. And I'm like, brother, but you just, it's like, I'm in my head, I'm like, bro, you were just arguing for being poor, bro. So it's like, it's like, bro, you just arguing for being poor. Why are you coming to me for a lift? Like, stay broke and stay over there, innit? Go and do humbly stay broke and go and learn Islam and just stay broke. But I'm trying to get this paper.
Yeah. Do you think the bar has been set too low within the community? Like we don't...
Way too low.
We don't expect each other to be professionals, to be self-sufficient. Like, say, have we set the bar too low? Do we have a lack of expectation on one another?
Way too low. Way too low. Like, that's what I think, we don't dream big enough. I think that's a big problem. Like, it's like there's one guy, you know, I don't know if you heard of David Goggins. Yeah, he does a lot of like training athletes and stuff. Yeah, but he's like saying, like, it's like, and I really do believe it. It's like, you know, like there's a like, he gives this example analogy. Like, there's a governor in vehicles. You know, like these delivery vehicles from companies that have a governor on them, and basically the van can't go past 70 miles per hour. Like, it wants to go, but it can't because there's a governor setting it. And I think being raised where we've been raised and being raised around the people we've been raised, even us, we sometimes we do it on each other. Like, it's like,
maybe.
Yeah, it's like we do it to each other. Like it's kind of like, yeah, no, you can't say that. Like, I remember one time, I'm just going to give it an example. Jabril said to me one time, you can't say that. And that was almost like, you're trying to condition me to what I can and can't say. It's like, no, I can say that. You see what I'm saying? And it's kind of like, that's the governor. It's like my community is setting a governor on my mind as to what I can and can't say, what I should and shouldn't believe, what I can and can't do, what I can, what's possible and what's not possible. And that's what David Goggins mentions.
You have to free yourself. You have to free your mind, huh?
You have to believe, like, no, it's like when you're running, it's like you have to push yourself beyond your limit. It's like you have to be like, no, you know what? I can go a little further. Like, you have to break through that limit that you set in your own mind for yourself. You see what I'm saying? That's what I think. That's what I think anyway.
I'm a great believer of that. The businessmen within our community have to have a charitable aspect of the business that they do. And that's why I'm a great believer, because I believe with that, it allows you to have at the forefront of your brain, how can I help somebody else? You know what I'm saying? Because within business as a whole, it's up and down. You know what I'm saying? It's very demanding. It's very grueling on an individual, and it can take up a lot of your time and a lot of your thought process. But within that structure that you hold, if you also have a charitable aspect that is part and parcel of the business, then you don't. It's not a separate thought. It's a one thought process of your organization. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's on Wednesdays, this is what I do, or Tuesdays, or this percentage, or this or that. It's part and parcel, and it allows you to then, you know, tackle a certain issue within the community and to make sure that, you know, you're giving back and you're supporting. Because I don't think everybody has to do major like steps. I just think everyone has to do their part.
Yeah,
everyone just has to chip in, and however that looks like. And I feel like also, you know, it's like when it comes to people who have money and who are wealthy, I'm not sure there's a lot of examples of great individuals. And I feel that's why people are afraid of wealth to an extent. Because if we were to say, like, let's name 5 wealthy Muslim UK individuals who have done great things for the community, there are people in our community who are millionaires. There's no doubt about that. And another thing I want to say is this. I know a lot of people.
Silent, if you get what I'm saying.
I know a lot of brothers that are millionaires, and they're clear. But it's like, and I know how they live, and I know how they take care of theirs. But again, when we mention this black community, and I feel like where other communities, they don't separate from this, we do this. We're living in a time where the UK. We're living in a time where the UK has some of the largest numbers of young black millionaires. This is one of the largest numbers the UK has ever had. When we're talking about,
man wants to send their money to Gambia.
Yeah, but when we're talking about, I just want to hone in into this aspect where we separate, because we talk about the black community, the Muslim community, then we talk about the black Muslim community. There are athletes, musicians, actors, barristers, whatever they are, that are not Muslim, but are our next door neighbors and are part of this community as the black community, first and foremost. So what I mean is this: when people see you, and example, if us lot are all walking down the road, me, you, and we're walking with Marcus Rashford, Stormzy, I don't know, Boyega, no one's gonna be like, look at those 4 Muslims and Marcus Rashford and Stormzy. Yeah, it's just look at them man them over there. Yeah, we're all the same. We're one bracket. So what do I mean by this? So these groups of individuals who are in this field, some of their churches and some of their communities have flourished because of the young men who are successful in the fields they are in and are able to give back without a stigma of giving back and making a difference. As Muslims, we have different challenges. But when we take on those different challenges, we then also we can't have our cake and eat it. We can't have Muslim rappers. Like, example, there's a rapper that I know, and I've known him to give a masjid in South London over 200 bags. Stand like he's giving it. He's a rapper from South London. You know, he talks about he's going to quit the game when he hits a certain age. He does. Haram, though. Ain't that money haram, though? No, I'm just telling you, it's haram. But when he gives it, he says no. But what he says is this: he knows it's not going anywhere. But let me give you an example. Every masjid has a bank account, and they take donations. He just sends it in. They don't know. He just puts it in. Whether he knows he's not getting reward or anything, but that masjid, he knows they're going to benefit from it. He just sends it in. He's not delusionalized. He says it's haram. He knows that. But when his money comes, because of and you know why? Because that same masjid, even though they know what he does, they've never asked him for a penny, and they've always made him feel welcome. No matter what sin you commit, I'm just giving an example. Go on.
If you know money's haram, I'm sure you're not allowed to take that money there, bro. So if I know your money
comes into your account, if it comes into your account,
you don't know where it come from.
If I know your money has come from selling alcohol, or your money's come from selling or music, or then am I allowed to take that money?
But what I'm saying to you is this: what I'm saying to you is this, Ak. If you have a GoFundMe and you're saying you're raising 100K, where do you know where that money's coming from?
Okay, all right, true.
That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. The masjid's accounts are like a GoFundMe. The rappers see the masjid's account and they just send it in, and the masjid's like, where's this big donation come from? You know what I'm saying? They don't know, but the reason I'm saying this is that masjid has made man feel welcome. They're like, we know you rap, you know. They haven't asked him, but they've just said to him, no matter what you do, don't leave your salah.
It was Lewisham he sent the money to, and that's just me guessing.
I don't
know.
We're just telling the story. But that's what I'm saying.
But Lewisham makes people. I can see the videos. Lewisham don't discriminate and make people feel like, oh, and I'm keeping it, bro. I have to be 100, bro. That's how Brixton's become, Brixton Masjid, yeah. Bro, it's like super pious man who's like disconnected from the ground, and it's like, it's kind of like, bro, if you're not seeking knowledge and you're not like just, you know, clean, like, you're not clean, bro.
This is the point I'm trying to make.
You ain't got no drug problems. You ain't got no problem. Like, you're just sneaky clean that you can't kind of roll with us brothers here. And it's like, bruv, that's not a reflection. Go outside the mosque. There's crackheads, there's prostitutes down around the corner.
This is another point that I'm trying to make. Some of this money, and this is why I say so. We have to understand when we talk about Asian community. A lot of that money, a lot of those people are in entertainment, are in music, are in forms of money which isn't halal, and it fuels their community. And they donate.
I think the bulk of their money is from, like you said earlier, it's like real trades. It's like real like skills. Like, you see this football and rappers, and bro, I think that's part of the problem of the black indoctrination. Bro, like, you don't have to be a rapper or footballer or some
what I'm trying to say to you is this. What I'm trying to say to you is this. When you come from a background we come from, where we've broken every law in the country, and then you become a law-abiding citizen that employs about 10, 15 people, pays taxes, and then you come to your place of worship and they say, yeah, but that's still not allowed, it's haram. It's a lot to deal with.
100%.
Because you stop breaking every law and you become a law-abiding citizen where the whole society you now live in are praising you for being a law-abiding citizen. A lot of these artists, we're not saying it's right, but a lot of these artists are employing around 10 people. They're paying 10 mortgages. And it's all, they're paying taxes. Everything's above board within the society. So you reach a level of piety when you become a Muslim where it's, you stop breaking the law of the land, and then you go to a next level where even if that law of the land is permissible, but it goes against Allah's law, you then stop that. But it's very difficult for people to just go from stopping everything, even the things that are permissible in the law of the land. You know what I'm trying to say? This is why we had issues with university. Should you go? Shouldn't you go? What's the process?
The free mixing thing. Before
the free mixing. But even till today, we've never had a fatwa from any of our scholars who say it's permissible to go to uni and take the loan. We've never had it. You won't find any fatwa of any of our mashaykh saying send your children uni and take this loan.
Do you think that's stifling? You think that's stifling the community?
No, but I'm just saying, even though we haven't had it, I don't hear anyone not sending their kids.
Their youths,
People are still going.
That's a fact.
People are still sending them. So why are they sending them? Because they've come to the point where they say it's a necessity, it's this, it's that. All right, cool. But I'm just saying, you ain't got a fatwa that says it's okay. So you've made this decision off your own back saying it's a necessity and you're going to meet Allah with it. Okay, cool, no problem. So this is the question sometimes that people ask is this. If you're going to take a 50k loan, which is riba, what if I choose not to go uni and take that same 60k and pull it on a house for a mortgage?
Okay. Yeah, it's like
to go uni.
Yeah, it's true. Once you compromise in one area, it's like once you go on OnlyFans and show little flesh, then it's like, right, well, why shouldn't I just go all out then? It's kind of like
the question is this.
Once you compromise a little bit, then it's like, well, I might as well compromise over here then.
Yeah, now the question is, everyone's saying that. But the question is, the question is this: it's necessity. So one man saying, I don't believe education and having a certain career path necessitates that I have to take that loan. I would rather say that the house that I live in and being secure for my family and not being kicked out and moved necessitates more than me having a degree. So why don't I just go and take the loan and secure my household?
They're both haram though.
No, they're both haram, but that's what I'm saying. But this one, but let me show you what the Asian community did. They say education and the house you live in is a necessity.
Yeah.
Okay.
So why we're still squabbling about, because they were going uni for a long time. What's the necessity? They took it a long time. So why even when we were arguing about is uni a necessity, they were already sending their kids
through.
Through.
And now they got all the doctors, all the lawyers, all the everything.
And why now we're at a point where we're arguing, is a house a necessity? They're like, are you mad? They're kicking people out and sending you leave. Newcastle.
Bruv, maybe things are what they seem then, because man might be seeing like they're winning, but they might actually be losing, and maybe the South London community might be winning. Because
I agree. So that's why I say then,
there's flourishing, but then all their families eating riba because they're living in riba.
I agree, but that's why I say then, are we too hard on our elders then?
Okay, stop. This is a good point.
That's a great point, you know. That's a great point. That's a great point.
Okay, so if we look at it now, what we're saying is,
they held down the.
We've been told from the beginning. Don't go to university because it's free mixing, and we've been told you can't get a house, you can't get a mortgage because it's haram. So we've got Achilles heel now. Other communities have been getting houses and going to university for years. Remortgage your house, get 100 grand, buy one chicken shop, buy next chicken shop, remortgage your house, and they build up the empire.
They want to do that.
When they reach 60,
real quickly, it's my these communities are now on life insurance. They're not. They're on the next thing now. They're on life insurance. They've all got life insurance for their kids. Anything happens to them, each of their kids is getting 100 grand. I've had conversations. They're on life insurance.
They've gone on. Is Allah pleased with it though? That's the quick, because we might see it. Them man is doing their thing, but it's like, but Allah might be angry at them though. I'm just saying, Allah, because if you're not sticking to the rules, like it might appear like a Musa and Kidda, their story. It's like, okay, things might appear one way, but Allah might be angry with you, because it's like, bruv, your whole thing's based on haram. And I think it's the same. You see, like in this oil game, there's a big company out there now. They're on the side of buses, got all these new cars, new vans, new this, new that. Like they've blown. They got all these new shops. I don't want to say their name, but the word on the street is their whole thing's river, bro. They're buying and selling houses, bro. Yeah, that company that's out there, that's a big utter company now in the UK. And so for me, it's like, well, if I bend a couple little corners, I could kind of hit where they are. But it's like I can't bend those corners. I just got to hustle harder. And
but that's what I'm saying. But I would also say there's a conversation we need to have, because living in the country that we live in, and we all know the housing situation, I wouldn't sit here comfortably and tell a man that housing is not a necessity after I know homeless people and I know what they go through. Housing is one of the basic essential human rights to have housing over your head. It's one of the basics.
Let me give you a story.
Go on.
You know, the way back when Brixton was starting up, they had Al Shahada Housing. The brothers in the beginning set up a housing association back in the days. Run specifically black community housing for black people. They lost it, and now you got.
How did they lose it? How did they lose it, man?
It's political how they lost it.
Let me finish. I don't know the ins and outs.
It's political how they lost it, but it's giving a man outside your community a little bit too much power. Smooth over your thing and take it away from you.
The reason why I want to clarify why I brought this up. I want to clarify why I brought this up.
Community though, bro. If we're Muslim, that's our community, bro.
I want to bring this.
That's a problem as well. I think this is a big problem, bro. This is a major issue as well. It's like, bro, everyone's just splitting themselves off into races, bro.
But you know what I'm saying to you there?
Let me tell you why I mentioned this point, though. Let me tell you why I mentioned this point. I want to mention this is a clear point of it comes down to know-how and experience, because if you need to bring in another community or someone else from outside your community who's not Afro-Caribbean to run your thing,
but he's Muslim though.
It's Muslim, I know, but you're lacking a skill. But the point is, I'm not saying the thing is bad or whatever. But my point is that housing association is no longer serving what it was
originally intended to do.
You know what I'm saying? So in building things for your community, right? You need people with experience, know-how. So you don't need to know, because the point is this, and I'm gonna say it, you're not gonna find a Jamaican man running a housing association in Whitechapel. You get what I'm saying? Because they've got their bases covered.
So
one of the things we have to do is find people to fit in every single place, every single institution. We need housing. We need to find people. It's down to education the people so they can sit in their position, so they don't lose these essential things such as housing.
So you see, in building a community, then they're like, it's a really serious thing. It's a real thing. It's like you see, like our children, then, because we have to be planning for 100 years, 500 years. It's like, are we gonna like fund each of our children to be that person? To be like, right, you're gonna be a dentist. Like, I'm gonna send you to uni, and we're all gonna chip in for you to become a dentist. We're all gonna chip in for you to become a lawyer. We're all gonna chip in for you to become whatever. Like, is that something that's realistic that we're actually gonna do? Because we have to be planning for the future. Like, who are we gonna make? Because that's what the other communities are doing. They just make their children. Like, you're marrying this person. Well, not you make you marry, but it's like, we're gonna arrange this marriage for you, and we're gonna arrange your education for you, And like we've got the plan, we've got the model, we've got the system in place. We know what you're gonna do. You don't need to think like you ain't got no choice. Like you can choose whether you like this girl or not, but we're gonna make you meet this girl. Our family and their family's good. We're good, and we think it would be good if you married this brother here. And you make me happy as a dad if you married him, and he'd make you happy if you married him, and everyone be happy because our two families are gonna bond. And
Question: are our families close enough that we have that relationship with each other that you can say, all right, I want my daughter to marry your son?
No. The answer is no. The answer is no.
Well, we are keeping it.
I'm keeping it real.
I think there's brothers in the community who are raising good sons and good daughters, and they know of each other. They know the brothers who are raising good children, and I think they will have that conversation. But and I just feel like, even like what Ubaidullah was saying there in terms of we need, and also what you're saying that we need people in different spaces and different things. Again, like we were saying there earlier with the elders and the people that came before us, is that our community is very young. And I feel like to have 10 students of knowledge, you need 50 to go through the door, because then only 10 make it. People are always going to fall to there's just that law of average in it.
Yeah.
Did I say it? So yes, we pushed that, but there's no shadow of a doubt our community needed teachers with an Islamic standpoint that can give us that guidance 100%, because the first thing that we need to establish is the faith, the iman, the understanding of this deen, the religion. And for us to have 10 students, we needed to push the whole community through to see who will finish off at the end. And we saw it. Not everyone, as many people that went to seek knowledge, but every 10 that went, maybe only one came back certified. It's not that simple. You know what I'm saying? So we needed to do that. I just feel like, even though we're comparing ourselves to a community who have been doing this, their first generation have passed away. They're like great grandfathers. Our first generation is still alive. And I think we're comparing ourselves to the wrong. So we're comparing our first generation to their kids who were handed things. It wasn't them that established the masjids. You know what I'm saying? It was their fathers and their grandfathers. So the elders we're looking at established the masjid. Their community, it wasn't even their dad. It was their dad's dad that established the masjid. They've been passed things down. I feel like we need to look at our children who are coming up as like a third generation to compare what are they going to be on. And this is why I'm saying that how we're moving with our children in the direction that we're trying to push them in, I feel they will be educated to a certain level. I feel we are going to have the people that are in those spaces who are going to be able to bring, like, even the level of editing, the talks in the masjid, the software, the money they'll be able to donate. If we do the right job, our third generation Muslim kids will be able to be on a similar, hold their own. If that's why I'm worried about us, because if we're second generation, we need to think about the third generation, who's our children. What are they going to be on? Are we pushing them into them right jobs? Are we showing them how to be businessmen? Are we showing them how to also seek knowledge, and if they're going to be there?
And be community people. Be community
people, because we still need it. Because let me give an example. Medina College is doing great stuff as maybe one of the only, Islamic institutes in South London. But East London have had colleges, Islamic colleges, for a long time. But we've needed it. This is what I'm trying to say. Hopefully we hope that with more of our young people seeking knowledge, we'll have more than just Medina College. You know what I'm saying? We'll have 2 or 3 that spread out, and we'll be able to.
Are you saying we shouldn't beat ourselves up too much then? We shouldn't be too hard on the elders.
No, I just feel like we shouldn't take.
The first generation did okay.
The first generation of every community established the masjid and the masajid. The problem we're having is that the first generation have first generation syndrome, where they're finding it difficult to hand their baby over.
Hand down. They're still holding on.
They're holding on. They're finding it difficult to hand their baby over. You build your organization. You're not too sure if your son's ready to run it yet. You're thinking, are you going to run everything down in the ground that I built, even though you're not doing it to how you used to do it when you were young and vigorous, but you're still scared. And that's the only thing that they're having. But the minute they do let go and they hand it over, they're going to see that there's some capable men that are able to do this.
100%.
You know what I'm trying to say? So I just feel like we got to keep on pushing in the right direction. I think one of the biggest factors, more than, because I'm seeing brothers doing great stuff, and I feel like there's a lot
Can
of
I ask you
brothers.
about something? Can I
Go
ask
on.
you about Spot?
Yeah.
Just a rough overview, mashallah. Why? Give us an insight as to why you think Spot has been so successful, from what I see.
For me, I feel like Spot has been successful because it was a community-based organization.
100%.
Roadside to Islam was for the community.
100%.
Roadside to Islam went into the places where our elders were saying, we're not even sure Islamically if that's okay for you to talk like that, or for you to be,
Yeah.
giving talks, and do you have the knowledge?
Don't make me laugh, bro.
Yeah, but we went through it, and we pushed through.
Please.
So then, when Roadside to Islam said, we've done our job, we've put our videos out, it's now time to go on to the next stage, which is taking care of our own and doing charity. We didn't have no NGOs, we didn't have no big charities in our community that we could look at and say, how do you run a charity? The Asian communities have hundreds of charities across the board. And when you go on charity commissions, you see 70 million, 60 million, 90 million bringing in every year. A lot of that is government funding. It's not from donors. The UK government has a lot of money to give to charities that know how to run money and deal with money properly. So for me, Spot organization, as you can go on charity commissions and see, to see someone from the community and people from us be able to raise over £1 million, it's unheard of to me. To be like, right, you raised over £1 million. Like we're known to struggle to raise 10, 20, 30, but this is from our community. People have to understand that, and the majority of that's from our community. And then secondly, it's also come from that Muslim community, like from different backgrounds, Asian community, Arab community, who've seen a level of standard that they're proud of and what they're used to. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
We do need him to actually give a talk, actually, because
but you know what it is, and
how he came from where he came from, and how he was able to bridge the gap between the communities and develop such a project.
Do you know what it is, though?
That will inspire other people. Sorry, go on.
You know what it is? I always say to people, and people sometimes I think they miss this, and I think all of us will be able to understand this. Whenever someone looks like they're doing good in the organization or business that they're running from, that's when they need your help the most. When you see them go from nothing and then you think they're doing good, because that's when they're on that line of making it and breaking it. They're getting into a new space where Spot needs our help more than ever. Obey the law, since Restock, we need people's help right now more than ever, so we can break through this wall that's just a new wall that's just appearing. Because with that push, it takes you to a new level. People will see Spot and lie in their morals and say, well, he's done great jobs. Spot will look at it and say, we've raised £2 million. When I sit on tables with other charities, they're on 60, 70 million.
Yeah, got you. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This 2 million, what is it done, and what more can we do for our community? Then you start looking about, establishing youth centers and stuff like that. To run a youth center in the UK is extraordinary money. If you just have 4 full-time staff, go on.
No, so don't you think? You see that we talk about education as a first generation. Don't you think like making money is the number one thing that we need to do? Then, like making like hustling, entrepreneurialism, business, getting that dough up, so then we can fund people to go uni, fund people to get this education, fund them to get this training.
Do you know what is a law? You see, the funny thing is, it's like, obviously, because I'm currently going through the situation right now, innit? Do you see where I'm coming from? Where I'm having to find school fees for my children. You see where I'm coming from? It's difficult. And people will say, Raj, you know what, sensible choice and all that stuff there, but there's a cap and there's a limit that it gets to. Do you see where I'm coming from? Because it's like, I'll have non-Muslims come to me and say, but your thing must be thriving because you have your Islamic community. And if everyone in your mosque came and just bought one incense, every week, no one bought after from me from outside Iceland. No, but wait, hold on. But this is what I'm trying to say. This is what I'm trying to say, brother. This is what I'm saying. Obviously, if that was the mindset, then we would be able to do certain things and attain certain levels. But I'm saying, like, because look, it's like what Musa said earlier. It is for the businesses in the community to kind of provide for the funding for the community. Yeah. So look, I've read a book here called Countering the Conspiracy to Destroy Black Boys. Yeah. Now, in that book here, it explains that, you know, other communities, what they will do is see a youth that's moving wayward and he's falling off, and the businesses will get together and they'll put money together and they'll be like, do you know what? Here, what we're going to do? We're going to fund him to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Do you get me? Yeah. And they will grab him and they'll say, listen, here what? You work in the shop for a little while. Once we can see that you're disciplined and rare, we're going to push you through to doing this. Yeah. And when he works in the shop and he can wake up and he can do this and he can look after that and he sweeps up or whatever he does, then they push him for a program of, say, for instance, computering, coding, He's been doing this now for 5 years and now he is earning 70K, like Musa said. Yeah. Now he's able to give back to his community, and this is how it's supposed to run. But with that now, how that starts is when your own community, the layman, the everyday man comes and he comes and buys incense from me. Instead of going East London, you come and buy it from me, regardless of the price, because you come and you say, well, he's in my community. He's my next door neighbor. Yeah. And then when I make a certain amount of money, I can now say, okay, I've acquired a certain amount of money. The masjid, what do you need? Boom, let's do this. Let's do that. Rare. But the mindset of the people is all over the place. Yeah. A man will come to me. A man will come to me. A man will come to me and say, oh, what's that fragrance there? And then I'll tell man's gonna say he's gonna buy it when he goes Saudi. Do you see what I'm coming from? So this is what I'm saying. Like we're kind of missing the point. We're missing the point. Yeah. And then this is and then on the flip side, like I said, right about now, my shoulders are heavy because I have to send my children to school. Yeah. Now the fees is tremendous. Yeah. Now if I start now, like I said last time, if I start doing the call out, yo, who can fund this and rare, the first thing man's gonna say is, ain't man got sensible choice? So man hasn't really thought about, do you get me? Like the whole thing of this thing called community, like I keep on saying, common interests and common goals, and working towards as a collective. Because all it takes is, look, when we're doing GoFundMes, if someone passes away tomorrow, I guarantee you we can raise 100K straight away. But then when it comes to building businesses or doing anything, why is it such a struggle? And this we really need to start figuring that out.
We don't understand the importance of, even me, I might say, you know what, let me just go quickly to Holland and Barrett's when I could go to the brother in Brixton Mall, for example. And I've been Holland and Barrett's here time, but I've never thought to myself, well, because it takes more effort as well. Like I have to go out of my way. So, but it's like I have to implement consciously, you know, like consciously think, be the change that you want to see. So that
everything. Purposeful change. Like they say, no one walks up a hill by accident. Because it's hard. You have to purposely walk up that hill. No one's gonna say, "Rah, let me just walk up that hill," right? And say, "Rah, nah." You look at anything, "Rah, why am I going there?" You question yourself: do I even need to go to the top of this hill?
Why power?
Then once you say to yourself, this is the goal, it's clear to you, you start making the walk. You know what I'm trying to say? So I feel like we have to purposely.
There has to be a reason for me. It's like there has to be a collective benefit where it's going to actually come back and benefit me. Because we want to benefit ourselves, essentially. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, if I'm going to go out of my way, it has to benefit me. How's it going to benefit me? It's going to be harder work now to go to you. But then I know if I build you up, you're then going to put it back into the place that I live. If you're going to take the money and you're going to say, well, I'm going to make a hijrah to Saudi. Salam alaikum. Save yourself. Save yourself and your family. You know, like, because I hear brothers say this all the time. Save yourself and your family. So it's like, well, it's just me and my family, bro. Like, man, it's just me and my family, and that's it. Everyone, you see what I'm saying? So if I see that it's going to be a situation where, it's going to benefit the community where I live, then I'm gonna pump money into you. But if you're saying, well, I'm going to move to Gambia, I'm going to build my little thing in Gambia, bro, then it's like, bro, like, I'm not going to be supporting and funding your thing, bro. Like, if I know that in part of the scheme, the goal, the plan, the vision is if I put money into you, it's like you saying with your children's school fees. If I know that you say, right, I'm going to dedicate my sons to this community, man will say,
let me show you something.
If man said, like, clearly, bro, I'm going to dedicate my children to this community. I'm not going to live in Gambia. I'm not going to live in Saudi. I think man would say, well, you know what? I'm going to put a bills in a little £50 a month for a little to whatever goal. Do you get me? Because I know in the end, your son's going to be a doctor in the community. Your son's going to be a teacher. You see what I'm saying? But you can't be taking my piece and flying out to another country.
Listen, he might change his mind. Listen, obey the law. If he changes his mind, you got to ask your money back.
No, but let me show you something, and this is why I said that the most important aspect of what we have here is the teachers and those that have knowledge. Because again, when we talk about saving yourselves and your families from the fire, we have to understand. This is why I said the importance of having our teachers. When Noah alayhi salam was complaining to Allah about his family, what did Allah say to him? Who his family was?
Who are they?
Yeah, who's your family? When he was saying that my family, and he wanted to make, Allah said, what did Allah tell him? Allah said, that's not your family. Your family are the believers. Your family are the believers. So when we talk about saving ourselves from the fire, we're talking about the believers.
Believers in general.
It's the community. Your son is my son. My daughter is your daughter.
Yeah, bruv, man would give that to me as an excuse. Like, I know a brother, and we all know, I'm not going to say, I'm not going to air him out, yeah? But the brother, he went to Medina, got his education, he studied, he qualified. Bruv, I say to the brother all the time, why are you spreading no knowledge? Why you got no classes? Why you got no podcasts? Why are you doing nothing? Bruv, Allah says, save yourself and your family from the hellfire, and that's what I'm going to. So you gone and got those resources. You extracted that knowledge from Saudi Arabia, and you're in England doing what? Oh, and you use the knowledge that you got as a delil to why you can't, like, you don't want to spread it because you're saving yourself and your family.
But this is why I always say to people, and I think, like, for us, the beacon of our success, and I've seen it again, the beacon of any community, any Muslim community success here. And I've seen it, and it's what the Prophet used to establish whenever he moved to somewhere, was the masjid, is that the beacon of success from any community that is proud is look at our masjid. That's it. The manhood of any man. That's the first thing. If you're not proud of your masjid, what are you proud about? That's every community I go to. All the uncles that east, that place, west. You know, like if you look at the Somali community here, their masjid, what's it called again now? Masjid Huda Masjid.
In
Masjid
Whitechapel.
In Whitechapel, Masjid Huda. It was been closed for the last 4 or 5 years. I think they raised like £2 million. If you look at the brickwork and what they built, stay at the art. If you look at it, when they open it and they're open for it to be open for this Ramadan, that's their pride and joy. When they're talking about, look at our community, what we've done, they can't be proud as men if their masjid isn't representing them and how they are. But we're having this fight. This is what I'm trying to say. We're having this internal fight.
The masjid involves them.
Yeah, but we're having this internal fight with our masjid and our community. So
me and Abdul Rahim, me and Abdul Rahim wanted to get a pull-up bar years ago. I have to keep going back to this because this is the only time that
it's still burning you.
No. This is the very, very basic thing that we tried to get done is get a pull-up bar because we're all in the masjid, young men at the time doing pull-up, working out, staying healthy. We're in the masjid, we're in the community, on the ground zero, Bruv, man said put it in writing, put it a pull-up bar, bro. So it's like, bro, like man's got to submit this thing in writing, get the feedback, and I think you might have even done it, Abdul Rahim, and I think they said no or something, innit?
You know what the maddest thing is, obviously the backstory was this, innit? The backstory is this. Man started doing itikaf, no one weren't doing it, me and the brother Abdul Shahid, we started doing itikaf, and then the young brothers started seeing man doing itikaf and they joined it, you know how they move. They see someone do it, they say, raw, man, like them man there, let's chill with them man there. So we had them there in it. Upon the morning times, push-ups. You get me? Someone saying, raw, you know what? You see, like, just like how block workouts got their thing, let's start a little thing called these young brothers are hungry. And
they got energy. They got energy to burn
off the roads. You get me? So obviously, I've gone to a couple brothers around. I'm saying, right, listen, can man put in a little money? Yeah, remember I got the link with Boost anyway. That's my people's them. So it was just like, yeah, no problem. Let's get the money and we got the things air for you. So obviously everyone said they're gonna donate. I've gone to him, I've gone to the masjid because we just needed somewhere to store it because there's no point of storing it far away just to bring it to the masjid. So gone to the masjid said, you know what, put it in writing. Like, cool, no problem. I'm not gonna lie, I went home, I was deflated. My wife said, nah, my wife said, nah, don't be deflated. My wife said, don't be deflated because it's a bigger agenda that you're trying to meet. Yeah. So here what? If you need help, I'll help you with it. And we devised a little thing. We devised it. I gave it to the masjid. Then it was like, no, we can't because obviously it's gonna be too sweaty, raw. And obviously it hurt because certain of the youths, murders, this, that. You get me? On Wayward.
As well.
And it's
I respect that as well. But my thing and one thing we'll always say is that, and we're all the same. There's times we've all said no to someone. But my thing is that we have to be solution focused. You say no, but you have a solution. Where's the solution? There's nothing wrong with saying no, but
the process of putting into writing is a problem, bro.
No,
how can I?
There's a system in place. You have to go with the system.
That system's cool, but have a solution. Have a solution. Say, Abdurrahim, we can't do it, but the masjid has funds. We're gonna rent out this place once a week. We want you to run this and do this and do that. Have a solution. Create solutions, because that way that you can take it. Because you can say to yourself, okay, cool, we get it. It's sweaty here. But are you saying the activity is wrong? Because the young people need activity. We got the hall a couple doors away.
Mental health act. Your mental health.
Can I give an example? So, for example, if we find that a particular masjid or the masjid in your locality is not providing the services, okay, mashallah, provides the salah and all of the religious, you might say, facilities. But obviously the community needs more than that. It needs a place, it needs a gym, it needs a youth center, it needs sisters activities, it needs to do trips. Then what do? Do we just keep complaining, or do we now?
We do ourselves. We have to do it ourselves. We have no choice. We have to do it ourselves.
Yeah.
But another thing is that we learn too lot, and we're all in the field where we've heard it all before, and we need to kind of set pace, because it's like when you're doing business, a man will come to you. You guys know, you lot sell, perfumes, and you understand it. People look for the product you don't have. They're always looking for the one you don't have rather than the one you do have. So when a man will say, okay, cool, when you get that one, then when you get that one, he's on the next one again. And now he's on, now he's on the next one and the next one.
They didn't really want it. They're making excuses why not to do it.
So we don't want to be that. We don't want to be saying use this, and then tomorrow someone from the community goes up or goes on himself like you've all done, go on this mad journey of getting a youth center, and then when the support is needed, we're not about.
Yeah.
Do you know what it is though? At the same time, like I don't like to be a moaner. Do you get me? Like just cracking on in this, this and that, and they didn't, and rah and da. But one thing it is that as men, what we need to do is to be focused and be consistent. Do you see where I'm coming from? Because man will crack on and say, I didn't get to do this and I didn't get to do that. But then, like the 1 half a day that you do have, what are you actually doing? What are you trying to bring the brothers and the men together? Because at the end of the day, our boys are only going to learn by us men.
Yes.
Yeah.
By looking at the dad, what's the dad up to?
And it's like,
and the
if we
mum.
can't even connect and be together as men, then the boys are done. You see where I'm coming from? Because they need to see that to emulate it.
And the
You
girls.
see where I'm coming from? So it's like, we need to do something. And that's what I'm saying. You see that book that I read, like I said earlier, it's like, it teaches man certain things like rites of passage, you know, like having like groups, like, you know, like the Boy Scouts, etc.
Yeah.
Like men creating those sort of things for youths that hit from early.
Yeah.
You see where I'm coming from? Not when it's too late, not when they're going into secondary school, before that. Do you see where I'm coming from? When they're in the early years, so then you can mold them into who they need to be by the time they've hit the puberty, etc. What man's trying to do is man trying to hit these youths when they're in puberty, brother. They're gone already, fam.
It's too late.
It's too late. Do you see where I'm coming from? And the reason why it's too late is because as men, we don't even know how to push our differences to the side to see the agenda ahead and just go and attack that. Do you get me? Stop crying. Let's just stop crying and let's just crack at it. Do you get me?
Crack on. Yeah, crack on.
Crack on. We need to. It's imperative.
How was the how? I mean,
that's why we're here.
That's why we're here. To develop the Muslim community mindset. What do you do from here then? We're gonna wrap up, man. It's an hour and a half. We've been moaning and discussing.
No, but I wouldn't say it's moaning.
Okay.
You have to. It's kind of like in a marriage. You're in a marriage, but when you're sitting down in the backyard, you're having problems in your marriage, bro. When you sit down for marriage counseling, I got to air out all the things that you've done, and she's got to air out all the things that I done. Yeah, and then we can move forward. But if I don't get it out of my chest, and you let me down, and the things that you done, then bruv, it's like it's gonna harbor that. So it's not moaning. I have to let that out. I have to release all of it to then be like, right, now I can work with you now because you've listened to me. And you can say, and then on the flip side, you're telling me the things that I done. So I'm like, okay, cool, all right, cool. All right, do you know what? Now we can come to understanding to where what annoys you and what annoys me, how you like things and how I like things, and now we can move forward together. If we're just looking around, let's just be quiet and let's not I think that's an issue in the black community. It's like being quiet. We don't want to speak the truth. Like we want to just sweep the thing under the rug. Like the black community is perfect. Meanwhile, all our youth them's killing each other on the road. But don't say nothing openly. Don't expose the whole world can see the black community's in chaos. But no. Let's just blame the white man when he does it. Let's blame the white man when he does it. But we're never gonna blame each other and air out and address each other. You see what I'm saying? So it's like no. Like I think we should actually just be able to moan
so
and speak the truth.
How do you change this conversation in from a moan to a?
No, but I feel like some points.
I'm saying to a conversation.
I think we hit the point of critical job advice and career paths for our young people. We've also spoke about the fact that our first generation comparable to an East London third generation doesn't make sense. We got to kind of compare it to the first generation who their job was to establish the masjid. Ours done that. The second generation was to maintain it and not lose it. Ours are kind of trying to do that. And then it's for us to have our third generation to be in a space where they've made the right career choices and they're flourishing and able to maintain and grow on that. I feel like when you look at, yes, it's difficult, but when you look at Brixton, it has its own college, it's got its masjid, there's brothers that are running businesses locally, trying to make things happen. There's charities. There's progress and we can see it. So we're hoping that we can double that.
It's individual progress.
No, but it's collective because let me give an example. When the outside community look at it, they just say, the Muslim brother that's got his own thing there, the Muslim guy and this Muslim man, they still see it as our community. And on top of that, there's other Muslim communities we might not look at. So we've got Muslim butchers, we've got Muslim phone shops, we've got, we've got Muslim, except like
herb shop.
Herb shop. There's a lot of Muslim communities within the Brixton community, but the Black Muslim community is also starting to thrive and do things. There's also sisters that are doing great things with hair products, natural hair products, and also are in their own field. Looking at the new generation example, I saw that there's a sisters event that they're doing, which is Muslim fashion and Afro hair. And then I saw there's another event that sister, I know another young sister, it's called the Black Muslim Girl Magazine. And they do events. They got the business awards that they do. The Black sisters are really putting in a shift. They got the Black Muslim Business Awards, and they celebrate, you know, the sisters within the community that actually got businesses and are doing stuff and are flourishing. So again, I just feel it's about also tapping in. So whenever they reach out to me and they're like, can you repost this? Do you want to come to the event? I don't agree with everything that they're doing, but as their elder, I get what they're trying to create. So I keep my foot in so that when I do pull them up on something, they're like, you know what, you were right. There's one sister that used to do a lot of stuff when she was young and she was out in the media, everything. And then she got married and became a niqabi. But she kind of realized that through conversations that I would have with her, that, yeah, this is what my man was talking about before. Now I get it. But we didn't push her away with how some of, you know, we feel like we were treated before. Because I feel like it's very easy to become the same people that we were also once complaining about. And that's something that I don't want to do. But there's a lot of, you know, young, you know, if Black Muslims from our community who are doing great things up and down across the country. And I feel like, again, when we talk about our community, we have to network, because our community spread far and wide across the UK. It's in Leicester, it's in Birmingham, it's in different parts of the country, and people are doing stuff and they're doing great business.
Don't you feel like, for me personally, I kind of feel like I love it. It's great. I'm with it. Yeah, I want to be on board. But I kind of feel like, bruv, it's almost like, bruv, is that the only way we can unite is on race?
No, like, I feel like, you know what it is, that we can only unite. You know,
Islam come to unite all races.
No, but what I'll say to you, I'll say unite on what's clear now. But when we want, my thing is,
black. It's easy to unite with people.
It's not about uniting. My thing is not about uniting.
No.
You see,
let me make this point to you quickly so you can understand me properly. It's not about. It's like, if I walk into a workspace, or let's make it in a way that we understand. You might walk into a football team. You're a manager, and there's only so much you can get from these players. You know, you need a couple transfer windows before you can buy and bring in more man that can take you to another level. We're in a community and we're in a time where the precedence has been set, and we're coming from a community who, for one and another reason, have had to suffer more than other communities. And like I said, that when people see us four on the road, they don't look at us as, bro, look at them Muslim men. They say, look at those black men. We can't run away from it. So there's many things that we're dealing with as Black Muslims, as Salafis, there's all of that stuff that we need to address and not try to run away from. So the first thing is to understand our community, work together, but not stop there. So, and one thing I think people get twisted as well is that when we talk about the Black Muslim community, we're never a community, or the Asian community. You never build a community, and then when you get people trying to support you from outside of your race, you're like, no, we don't need your help. No, we're dealing with the house that's on fire, because it's very easy to look at our neighbor's house that's not on fire and be like, but why ain't you got the same type of support for his house ain't on fire? Like you just said. Our house is on fire as a community, and that's because we also.
I'm with you. I can agree, but then, like, say for example, my next door neighbor is a white youth. Yeah, he's got all the same problems that I had. He's out there. He can't quit smoking weed, and it's like, so for me, it's like, it's kind of like, if we got like youths on the road that's white in the community, man can bring them in the fold as well, and they build. That's Islam.
Of course. So of course, like, but them youths, when they come in the fold, they come to hear and understand that they're sharing some of the same problems that you do. So you don't go from teaching this 10 this group of 10 young black men with their problems.
I'll be real. Sometimes, bro. Sometimes we're very racist, bro. And it's like, bruv, this.
No. I think it's confused. I think.
Bro, listen, bro. Sometimes it's like, because me, I'm just saying, bro. I want to build a powerful community. Yeah. North, south, east, west. I want to build it. Yeah, but sometimes it's like, bruv, we get stuck into this whole racial thing as well. I'm not saying don't support and build your race and your community. I'm saying that sometimes we can then just become like, okay, like we're powerful black Muslims.
The question I have to ask you is this: as a community and as a culture, and we know that Allah said made us from different tribes so we can learn from each other. What are you offering if you haven't learned yet? We haven't learned yet who we are to be able to give other communities the best of us. You know what I'm trying to say? We need to learn who we are.
Bruv, I'm with you. I'm having a conversation. I just want to unroll the
that's why I am. So when we talk about,
you see, like for example, all these other communities that's got their thing together, bruv, they're not bringing you into their community. It's a cultured thing now. So it's like I'm saying the danger of it is if we're just building a black community, a Muslim community, then it's like, okay, no, but I'm just saying, showing the awareness of, because I deal with Afghani brothers, I deal with all different races, and it's like, but I know they ain't gonna invite me to their wedding, because that's their culture thing. You see what I'm saying? Like, I know they're not gonna let me marry their daughter, so it's like, bro, it's kind of like, is it just like, oh yeah, like we're able to just, I don't know, like, because, bro, it's all good just building a race, our own race. Within Islam's come to teach us to build up.
But let me show you something. When you build, let me show you something. When you build a community, example, if we want to break it, for example, imagine the Asian community are plumbers, the black community are electricians, the Arab community are plasterers, the Indonesians are, I don't know, they do the roof and stuff.
Decorators.
Decorating, whatever.
Yeah.
When every community is able to do what they do best.
Are you cutting out? You cut out.
It's cutting out. Is he there?
Is that just me? I can't hear you. Cut out.
No, he's cut out, I think.
He's getting
cut out,
Come back again.
You're back.
So when every community is able to do what they do best, then you're able to then outsource your skills. You're able to say to the Asians who are plasterers, listen, our thing is leaking. Can we get your help? Yeah, of course, you're our brothers. Let's help you. We're saying in our community, and they know what we're good at. And that's why they call us in to fix their young people. But what we're saying is, we haven't sorted out what we're still lost though. We don't know what we're good at.
Yeah. But I feel you, because you see during the time of the is he still making his point?
Go on.
You see because I was watching this there's one channel called The Kings and Generals. They show all the battles and the wars, and but they got a lot of Islamic conquests. They show like a lot of Muslim conquests, and it's mad that you say that, because it's kind of like Islam was spread by the Arab people at the time, and it's kind of like their race and their tribes and race was solid, so that was able to. That's how they was able to push it. So I get it. It's like like you have to make your race powerful to push this thing. But I get it.
You have to be solid as a group of people, as a representative. So, because my thing is, when everyone comes to the table, because like I say, if we're a community and this community is made up of different races, when we all sit at the table to be one, what are we bringing to that table? We're too busy saying, no, we can't work on our community because we need to know what you're bringing to the table and bring you in. And they're like, no, we're doing our thing. We all have to do in our own blocks and then come together on this table, which looks like Islam, which is the Africans that came with certain type of metals and gold, and then and they bust off the Arabs with certain things, and then these lot bust off these lot, and everything has to come together. But we're refusing. I think we've been so, and this goes back to the slave days, where you weren't allowed to work together as a people. If they heard you talking about an idea, you was in trouble. because there's no other race that sees it as a problem to build themselves. It's only us, you know. You never hear the Asian man say, "Oh yeah, why are we building ourselves? Them lot are gonna think that." Nah, we're the only one. But is it surprising?
Do you know what? It's funny you say that, yeah, because one thing that I'll have to keep it real, bro. It's like within our community, it's like, bro, you see this light skin, dark skin thing, bro. I'm telling you, bro. Listen, bro. Every other like black podcast or any black conversation, bruv, man's gonna come in and dislike skin people, bro. When it gets down to the crunch, no, brother, I'm keeping it real, bro. I'm keeping it real. No, I have to keep it real. Because that makes me say, bro, do I even want to be part? Like, bro, well, I'm not black then, so it's like, yo, because it's like, bro,
when you have to go back to the root of that.
No, bro, I'm saying to you that, bro, when it comes to the crunch, when it's like, bro, man's on a bad day, a man wants to just, you know, or feel
you have
jealous.
To go back to the root of that. The root of that is
the house.
Yeah, it's
the house.
Yeah, you need to fix that because like you can't feel that it's acceptable. These light skin jokes, or it's like, brother, what? So what? You're more superior because you're darker. What? You're more what? What is it like? No, but I'm just saying, bro. Like you see, as a community within our race, those are things that it's like those little things where it's like, well, we think that, oh yeah, everything we're trying to build.
But the question I ask, man, is this:
we might alienate each other within our race to say, wow, like, wow, man's looking at you. Like,
yeah, but you know what? One thing you gotta realize about the lot, it's either a man's sick or they're not sick. It's either it's a sickness or they're not sick. If someone's sick, then you gotta pardon the sick person because he's sick and he's understanding.
Heal him.
And healing.
Man has to let a man know you're sick. You can't just be like, right, and it's like, because because we're so conditioned. It's like, oh yeah, little light skin joke. And the light skin brother might know.
You've seen it though. When our kids are sick here and it's time to give them the medicine, the medicine ain't bitter. Why the kids just running for it? The medicine's bitter. I'm saying when someone's sick and you have to give them the medicine, more time the medicine's bitter. So you have to speech the kid. So my time when my kids are sick and I have to give them the bitter medicine, I have to speech them. I might have to like my youngest daughter, I might have to line up like a little sweet. When she thinks she's about to yam the sweet, boom, the medicine goes in. So what I'm saying is, you gotta kind of be if you want to educate someone, there's a certain type of way you gotta do it. Because you have to say, my man's sick. So if I give it to him like this, he's not gonna be able to swallow it. All right, cool. Let me show him how silly he is and pattern it. And I just think you gotta be patient with people. Like for me, there was a long time why I never understood why Caribbean people never thought they were African. And then one day it hit me. Then one day it hit me that if my child, my baby girl now, who's 1, if she was stolen from me, may Allah forbid, and she grew up in Australia with a different group of parents, and then I turned up and she's 20 years old saying, I'm your dad, she's going to run away and say, what are you talking about? Who's this man trying to steal me? I'm not your flipping child. I'm Australian. Move from me. So when you got a group of Caribbean people who were stolen from their place, raised in another place with a different name and that, and you just claiming them without no softness, without showing them how and giving them the evidence that you're actually their father and their cousin, they're just going to run a mile from you. So I don't know you. So once I was able to channel that, I said, now it makes sense. Every person's going to deny me because they don't know it. You see it.
But then Africans will be denying Jamaicans too, or Caribbean people too.
Because listen, what happens is when you claim your son, your son, and he says, no, you're not his dad, as an ignorant man, you just say, you're not my child, move. This is what happens, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, see, no.
That's done by design anyway. I think that was done by design to split up Caribbeans and Africans.
This is what I'm saying. So there's a lot of things. So this is what we're trying to say. There's a lot of things.
You can't justify everything like that, bro.
No, they're not. Like, but one thing is, there's a lot of things that have been designed to put us in these places, and it's for those that Allah has given clarity. See me, when Allah gives me clarity on something, Alhamdulillah, I make sajda, and I say, I'm thankful that you cleared this up, because there's a load of people that are not, it's not been cleared up for them. Rather than me trying to beat you down with, oh, why don't you get it? How comes you can't see it? Blah, blah, blah. I know enough people still angry at people for certain things. And I'm like, Allah's giving you foresight. Don't think this is it's everyday business. You see certain foresight you have. It's not everyday business.
It's not. It's not.
Let me add one more quickly, yeah. Yeah, because on a conversation.
We have to round up, yeah, because we're coming on to 2 hours. So
you see, for example, so now my children now, my wife's fair, innit? Yeah, but she's from Morocco, so she's African, innit? So you're from Africa, innit? So this black thing, like my children, they're very light. So if they're on the street, someone might think, you're not black, but they're African though. And they're more. It's like for me, this
being
is
black don't make you African. This is why people keep on getting twisted. Even the black thing, being black don't make you African.
No, but so my thing is then. So this is my thing is. So then, within the black community, you got substrands because it's like okay, I might be.
But the problem is
black
Africa.
Because my skin's more dark, but my
But you have to understand this. Africa,
because he's black, but then he's African. So it's
You know what we should do?
no, but you know what it is though. Africa is the only group.
That's a whole new topic.
It's a new chapter, but Africa's the only place.
We discuss it. We'll discuss it later.
We have to unpack this right now. We have to unpack this right now.
No, we don't have the time. But one thing I'll say is this: Africa's the only blackness is the only thing that's described to a continent. Like you never find a white person saying, "Cause I'm white, I'm English."
Yeah.
He'll say, "No, I'm Polish. No, I'm Irish. I'm this, I'm that."
Yeah.
Why is it when you're black you have to be African? Why? Who told you that?
Okay.
Who told you that? You know what I'm saying? Because when you see a Sri Lankan man, that's Sri Lankan, and he's darker than you. No. You know why the problem is? The problem he has saying that he's black is because you're referring to him as African. Not that he's dark in color. If you said to him, "You're black, but you're Sri Lankan," it will be cool. But you're saying to him, "You're black," as if that makes him African. Oh, you're black, so you're like me. So why, it's like a Polish man.
So why is black synonymous with Africa then?
So this is the question you need to ask. That's the question. That's for another story. That's another story.
Listen,
Let's get back. Let's get back.
Listen.
Look, they say black African or Caribbean, don't they? So it's like, okay, they don't say, "Oh, are you black?"
Who says that?
Exactly.
They don't say, "Are you Aborigine?" No, so I think here, a lot of these, you see a lot. No, but this is why, see me personally, see when people say black here, I like to try and reject, but I just use the name black because we're going to unify on black here. But I try and reject that label because it's like categories that have been created by other people for us to tick to say, okay, you're black, African, or Caribbean. So it's like you're either that's the category or you're not. So it's like if I'm not that, then I'll tick a box. If I was Asian, I tick a box and say, yeah, I'm Sri Lankan or I'm Asian. Or so it's like I'm basically going by the boxes and the categories that they told me I am. So when we say we're black, it's like okay, that's the category that they gave us. See where I'm coming from? That's what we are. It's just a color.
But you need to understand it. And not fall for it. You just need to understand it and understand that, like I said,
are we an identity? Are we a color?
Well, like everyone else. Like I said to you, is the Polish man just a white man?
White. He's Polish. He's not white. He's Polish.
So then, why are you different? Why are you not? Why don't you have a Kabyle, a tribe?
Yeah. That's
What's
what I'm saying. That's what I like to roll
1 hour something. 1 second.
I like to roll with. I like to roll with identity. I like to roll with who am I? Like my identity, not we're black. Because it's like, bro, like that don't describe who I am or who you are. Because you could have a man who's a shaitan in our camp, and because he's black, we think, he's black, but he's a shaitan. So it's like, just by being black, don't mean that you're like that. We're brothers. Yeah, it's like, where are you from? Like, what tribe are you from? What country are you from? What language do you speak? Like, what nation and tribe did Allah make you from? Not what color are you? You see what I'm saying? So
we're gonna do that. It's a big topic. We're gonna try and do.
I think that's a big because that's a substrand within our community, building our community. These are conversations we need to have because it's like, how am I gonna connect with Musa as an African brother? Yeah, where you from, Musa? Originally, your country?
No, Uganda.
Uganda. As an Ugandan brother, he's got his roots and his heritage. He knows his dad and his mum and his whole he knows his whole history. Me, I'm mixed. My mum's white English, my dad's black Jamaican. My root has been severed from my dad because he left. I don't even know my Jamaican family. So it's like, how do I build a relationship with an Ugandan man? And I don't even know who I am from before even my dad's parents are from Jamaica. And it's like, okay, well, but where are they? I don't even know where they from in Jamaica. All I know is my second name is McKay, and that's a Scottish name. So it's like that Scottish name is a Scottish white man owned my family somewhere along the line. So it's like, how do I connect with brothers from other races when I don't even know who I am? So this is
can we talk about unity? Yeah, listen.
Go on.
On the unity thing, obviously, common interest, common goals. Yeah, Eid trying to do a big fireworks display. Along with that, trying to do an event. You know, trying to bring not just the Muslims but the non-Muslims together. Inshallah, if we can do that. So obviously, on the back of unity, whether you're white, black, whatever, Muslim, non-Muslim, whatever. Yeah, we need donations. We need donations because the only time we can really achieve something, is when we're really working together. Do you see where I'm coming from? So I'm putting it out there on the Muslim Real podcast. We need donations. The more donations that we get, the bigger the whole event can be. Do you see where I'm coming from? Because it's like what you're saying. There's people over there. There's people over here. So I'm just putting it out on here because I might only know my community. Do you see where I'm coming from? But someone might watch this from other communities and say, okay, you know,
we'll put the link in the bio.
Put a link in the bio. Connect with AR.sense anyway. Because we're really trying to do this to bring the people together. Do you get me? Because it's like what we said with Muslims. You see where I'm coming from? And inshallah, we should be trying to connect with the other communities. It's like what Musa said. It's like when we're walking down the street, man ain't saying, raw, yo, those men are Muslim and those men are no. Do you see where I'm coming from? So on the flip side, it should be everybody we can enjoy, you know, and
enjoying the good.
Do this, do this together.
The opportunity, I agree with you, man. It's a great opportunity for Dawah, man. I think it's a great opportunity. What you're saying is 100% sure. I think a lot of the time we've always closed our doors off and we only preach to the converted. But we know we live in a time where a lot of people are faithless. They might ascribe to a faith, but they don't really practice it. And they participate in everything that takes part. Yeah, they participate in every religious festival that isn't theirs. So, and because they're trying to find themselves, and this might be the opportunity where they come to an Eid event, they like how we move as a community, and they're able to embrace the faith of Islam. So I feel like it's a great opportunity, and people should look at it like that. They shouldn't, because you're always going to get people that always come with a, half-empty glass, where they're like, why are they inviting this our event? No, brother. And I feel like what you're saying is very true. It's a community thing. We're celebrating Eid and we're showing the wider community how we do it, how we behave, how we act. And I'll also add on that, if there's any professionals, I don't know, if you need caterers or people that's got skills that might be able to say, look, I don't have this, but my business has this. Can I supply you with this? You know what I'm saying? Can I supply you with, we got butchers, like I said before, there's people that can supply you with free meat for maybe cooking and where people can do other stuff. You know what I'm trying to say?
And that's what I feel like we need. We need as much people to get together to understand, like I said, common interests and common goals. You see where I'm coming from? So it's not about division. It's about unity and what we can unify on. Do you get me? It might not be money. Like you said, you might be a person that you own some sort of business and you want to donate sweets or you want to donate whatever it is. Whatever it is, contact AR.sense, get with it, and let's make this thing, like I said, a community thing, so we can get together and enjoy and celebrate, you know? You know what it is? If we can connect on this and we can unify on this, then this can be something that we can set as a stone, a pillar, a foundation, and then say, okay, well, that went well. Then what
We can
else
do
can
something
we
else.
unify on?
It's
Yeah,
going to
man.
inspire other people.
100%. There's a lot as well that we say, because sometimes we sometimes we're shy about celebrating, especially our community, the black community. There's a lot of Muslims who are not from, you know, the African Caribbean community who look forward to Muslim Afro Caribbean events because they want to eat from the food from our culture. They want to experience the jollof and the rice and peas that's going to be at the event, and they particularly come out because when they're surrounded from what they're used to, they're not getting that. So this is why we got to celebrate it. We got to give it to them because there's a lot. And this is why I said that there's a group of young sisters who say that they've been to a lot of Muslim events where there's pilau rice and there's this rice and there's like, where's the jollof? Where's the rice and peas? Because this is a community. So, and that's why I say again, when we're not bringing nothing to the table because we're thinking about we have to bring this. But so example, we might be doing an event and a man said, oh, I know a brother from East London. He's got the catering. He's going to bring us pilau. Biryani. There's nothing wrong from that, but then people have come to our event expecting to eat a rice and peas because they're expecting to see what we have to offer them. You know what I'm saying? So we need to celebrate.
That's why when you're saying raw, obviously, why does it have to be this? Why does it have to be that? It doesn't have to be that because we're all Muslim, but it's to show that there's other than what you lot know. Listen, when we go Ramadan. Yeah, when it's Ramadan and we hit the supermarkets, what do we see? We see riz, we see basmati rice, pilau rice, flour. We see all of that. But why is man's jerk sauce not on there? Because I'm Jamaican and I'm Muslim though.
Islam's known to Asia, innit?
But this is what I'm trying to say. So if we're not doing as black people, we're not doing our thing to say, well, we're black and we're Muslim and we're doing our thing, then the community, the society, the world is only seeing pilau rice and chapati flour.
Well, you know
They're not understanding that there's jollof rice and jerk chicken.
Man needs to promote it like that, because the way you made it sound like exciting. So it's kind of like man needs to promote like coming to the Caribbean Eid festival. You understand? Like that would make man say, oh, let me go and try, let me go and experience.
No, our counterpart. Listen, when our counterparts from East London here, there's an event in South, they're expecting jerk to be getting cooked. They want to see that.
On another point, another serious point is like, like my family, they think, okay, if you can become Muslim, it means you can become Arab or Pakistani. They don't think, okay, you can be Muslim and Jamaican and stick to your roots. So, you know, when you become Muslim, you have to lose your swag, lose your bop, change your diet, put on kameez. Do you get what I'm saying? But part of understanding who you are as a Muslim and maintaining your culture is very, very important for dawah. That you can remain Muslim and remain within your culture. Brothers, we licked the 2-hour mark. I know it's been good, but couple of
it was Musa.
on a bit. We should try and
bring we should do longer ones, bro. We should do 3, 4, 5. Bruv, I've sat down and looked, man.
We can't do that.
Brother, you went to sleep and got up. Yeah, you're fresh. You're fresh.
That's what it is. The only thing I'll say is this: you have to segment. If you're doing long hours like that, you have to have segments so that it can be cut up. So you might do 3 topics over 2 hours, but it wouldn't be the same topic. First half hour would have been one, so you can cut it. The second half hour can be another one, so you can cut it. So then it's 4 topics. You know what I mean?
Abela just wants to roll. He's rolling now. You know what I'm saying?
I've seen podcasts. From my experience of sitting down watching people, like and people that successful speakers, podcasters, and YouTubers. Bruv, man will have a 4 or 5 hour. And bruv, if I can't get through the whole thing, like 2.5 hours, bam, I'm pausing it. As soon as I get back in my yard, I'm pressing play and watching the rest of it. Because I'm watching this because I'm getting stimulated by this conversation. So why are we killing? Why are we killing where this conversation's going? Because it's like okay, we're restricting ourselves to time. It's like, bro, Just let the thing flow until the thing dies naturally.
Let it flow until we go sleep. Listen, okay, what I'm gonna do is, right? There's a couple of points I just wanna. It's up to you, brothers. Like, if we go into another chapter, we're gonna be here for another 2 hours. So we're gonna spend 2 hours.
We just have to book again. We have to come with friends.
Because we have to. Made a laugh. Musa,
I'm saying for the future. I'm saying for the future.
Because I say, when you step away, reflect, you come back better. I think there's a few things we need to reflect on. I want to watch this back, make some notes, and be able to come and reflect.
Okay, couple of points. One, sticking in my mind is that we can't be too hard on ourselves in regards to progress, because we might say we're kind of like first or second generation. Other communities are way ahead. But one point is this: is there anything wrong? I'm going to just quick comment on looking at other communities for inspiration.
Of course not.
Definitely not. Like it's like what we spoke about earlier when we spoke about the blueprint. Do you see where I'm coming from? Like, you see, like when I was giving children the opportunity to get free oils from me so that they can establish their own business, etc. My whole dream, but by giving them the oils, was that you start off with substandard oils. It weren't substandard, but it was just like oils that I weren't really messing with anymore. Yeah, that was my dead stock. Yeah, which will be their livestock. Yeah, and after they sell that, then they could come and buy oils off of me, and I'll give them the exact same blueprint that Sensible Choice had. Do you see where I'm coming from? But there wasn't a lot of them that kind of, obviously they're children, innit? And if their parents ain't cultivating and running with them with that, they will just lose interest, isn't it? But that was the whole thing. So my blueprint was that they could replicate everything of Sensible Choice, and now they've got their own Sensible Choice to run with. Whether they want to call it Sensible Choice, whether they want to call it Sensation, or whatever they wanted to do, like they could have done that. And that was my dream. So, you know, this is what it is. We need to look at the blueprints, take it, and you know, take that model, and then we can replicate it other places.
This is what I've actually done for inspiration, because like I said, come from a broken family background, Jahiliya background. For me to get inspired, I have to look at, I've looked at Asian people, bro. I look and see the old man and the old woman in the back of the car. I'm like, wrong, like they look after their elders, like they actually take care of their parents, like they don't just put them in a home. Like I watch and observe like people that's doing things, like even in even the Afghanistani community, how they stick together, how they get shops and build together. Like the Indian community, the Sikh community, the Hindu community, bro. I'm mixing and mingling and learning from all of them. I'm learning from all of them. Whoever's got whoever's got something, if it's working, if they've got something that I need to learn, then bruv, I'm gonna learn it from them. I don't care what race you are. I do this people as well. White people, bruv, listen, man's taking me like, well, how would cool? You've used that on me. I'm gonna flip it now. I'm gonna use it on you. That's why sometimes you might see me wearing the suits and that, because all right, is this the game we're playing now? All right, let's put on a suit and a tie now. Let's play that game. So it's like it's learning how to play the games of the arena that you're in. You see what I'm saying? And learning how other people do things, you know. So
excellent, Musa. I'm gonna give you the last words.
Right, 100%, man. I think one thing that we touched on earlier is just to make sure that whenever we're looking at those other communities, is make sure we're playing by the same rules. Because if we're not playing by the same rules, then that's where we get caught stuck, because you're never able to jump as high, because you just don't have the same springs on that they're using, that we know that the springs are leaving.
Sometimes they're cheating.
That's it. Yeah. So we just have to understand that we're playing. But again, there are certain things that we can take which are cultural and morally. But again, I think we also have that, and sometimes we just beat ourselves down. But like I said, I think it's very tricky, because a lot of people are not playing by the same rules, and the rules have been set. We know what they are. But I think there's wider conversations we need to have as a community, and to understand where we are and what we're doing. But yeah, man, I think there's more conversations for us.
Let's bring back the swag. Let's bring back the bop. Bring back the vibe. You get what I'm saying? And get the ball rolling. And let's be productive and try and change other people's minds and try and get this community mindset going, inshallah. Brothers, for your time. It's been a pleasure.
Can I add one more thing very quickly?
Faddal. Go on.
what? Because obviously, before I had my last point, you didn't say that was the last point. Normally, you say, right, make your last points, yeah? So I had this in my head. So basically, what I'd like to see eventually, yeah, you see like how you got Belfield Road, it's full of Algerians. You got Brixton Road, it's full of Sierra Leoneans. Brixton Hill, Somali Masjid. Brixton Caribbean Masjid. You know, Stockwell, Asian, Pakistani Masjid. Brother, like, I'd like to see unification. Like, I'd like to see, because I feel no, I'm talking about in life, unification. Where like, bro, like, are we not able to like sit down and just feel comfortable around each other?
Wait, that means you have to do an event. That means you have to do an event, and you have to go there personally, give them a leaflet, invite them to a cook up, invite them to a barbecue, make an activity within South
or
London.
invite them to an Eid gathering.
Yeah,
So
that's the thing now. If you're pro community, if you're into community, you got to take the initiative and say, you know what?
I have to take the initiative, guys. Like you said, we're doing a fireworks event. Get the flyers out. Go to all the masjids in Lambeth and go and give out the flyers and tell them to come and bring their families and enjoy it. I said that's the least that we can do. I said that's proactive. We're doing an event. Let's get some flyers out. Let's go to all the masjids, or even if it's a poster, let them know and invite them.
Right, cool. So
and also ask for their donations, because obviously when you put in, you're more likely to come. You see,
and I feel like this one 100%, but I feel like this one, if they're guests and as they come as guests and they see what happens, they're gonna be. You'll be surprised. They will become your number one supporters.
Yeah,
I think
they'll
get them over here.
do something and then invite you back next time.
Yeah, and when they see what you're able to pull off, because I know what you're able to pull off, sensible as for the community. I think if we invite them all and they see what happens and their children, everyone enjoys it. When you ask again, it's gonna be straightforward.
All right, brothers. Thank for your time. One second. Obeida's gonna say something else. I know he's gonna say something else.
I was gonna say so. Like in regards to, obviously, I'm just gonna say it because it's not on the mere. No. Not it's not nothing. Listen, you know, like you're allowed to say things. You're allowed to say if you give charity.
Yeah.
Just to encourage people.
Encourage it. Yeah.
Not to expose my good deed, but I've already put my little thing in. Yeah. What else can I put in? Like, how else can I? Because like, if I was a chef, I'd be like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna make some jerk barbecue chicken and I'm gonna make some rice, but I can't cook. So it's like, what else can I bring? I've got some fireworks in my cupboard from my last. I think the last Eid. I got a pit of fireworks. Yeah, cause I took the kids to the park and just let off the fireworks. Yeah, fireworks. Yeah, but I've only got my moped, but I've got a lot of fireworks though.
Bring them, man. Bring them. Drop them off in it.
I said I've only got a moped, so if someone can collect them, if you can collect them,
closer to the time. You get me? Like, just clear. You get me? Take it in. And
So what else can I, in regards to like, to make the event more great? What can I do?
For me personally, yeah. The thing about the event is about linking with people, because like I said, obviously if it's not a donation thing, it's linking with people. It's like what you said, you are around people, Muslims or whatever, that have businesses, etc. It's about asking what, you know, we're doing an event, what do you have to donate? What can you do for the event? You know, if you can do a monetary thing, you can do a monetary thing. If you don't, if it's not that, you've got a sweet shop and you can give boxes of sweets. Do you see where I'm coming from? So it's like there's nothing that's too small. You got an ice cream shop and you can get it over there. And you can do all of that. Then do that. Like this is what we got to start thinking about.
I got the 2 screens in the window. I want to put the posters up on the screen.
Do you see where I'm coming from? Those sort of things there.
I got the advertising screens and the massive ones. I'm gonna put them on there so people, the Muslims and the everyone can see it closer to the day. Once Ramadan.
I can see the community spirit being built right here now. I can feel the community mindset changing already.
Have you designed the Eid posters? Like, does it look Caribbean? Because I think it needs to look Caribbean. It needs to look like Caribbean. colourful. Like it needs to, like, you know, like when you advertise something, it's like we spoke about that it's a Caribbean event, African Caribbean event, like
Give me the
colours, food.
details. I'll get the poster done. Give me the details. I'll get the poster done.
Cool. That's
Inshallah.
he's got that information.
Yeah, send me that. Because I work with my boy Abdullah. He does all my graphics. He's Pakistani based. He's top level. He doesn't take no time. He'll make it happen for us, and he'll give me the sizes to put in the screen, everything.
And for Instagram, Facebook, social medias, I'll slap on my TikTok, and so whatever you can make up, then I'll just put it on my things as well. And if you got leaflets as well, then potentially I could put them in shops where I go around to different shops. I could just put them in the shops.
Yeah.
So excellent.
And that is the reason why that sort of thing here is the reason why Spot, mashallah, Allahumma barak, do so well. Do you get me? Because you don't need to own anything, bro. Do you see where I'm coming from? Sometimes it's best just to let the people do what their people do. Do you see where I'm coming from? 100%. May Allah reward them, bless them, and increase them, inshallah.
Ameen. All right, brothers. Thank you for your time.
We're good to get on here. Just the last. We're good to get that brother on here to be able to give us the blueprint as well.
My point is that if we do sit down again, there has to be an agenda, a step up now. Like, are we going to support a specific thing? What will be the next agenda? We've had the general talk.
The reason I say before we go, because I do think the time has to wrap up, is get Abdul Karim, because he heads the Lambeth Community Council.
Yes.
He's the reason why they don't give you tickets on yellow lines outside the masjid on Jummah across the whole borough of Lambeth. That's what he makes happen. So he's a person that we need to get on here, because he's created a body of Muslim Council of Lambeth where all the mosques know him as a representative of the council. So he has a great foresight and insight in how things can be done to strengthen those ties.
Well, do me a favor then, when you see him, catch him, because I tried to catch that brother so much time, brother.
He's hiding from me. It's about 2 weeks I ain't seen him, but I'm gonna get him.
I said, where is he? Has anyone seen him? No. So if you see him,
because last year when COVID hit, he got permission from Lambeth to do Eid in Kennington Park, and to make it a whole all the mosques in Lambeth celebrate Eid in Kennington Park, and then COVID hit. So that's the strings that he was pulling, because that's a different ball game. That's a different game changer for all of us as a community.
All right, we're going to end on that point. Let's everyone find Abdul Karim bin Bakar and catch him for next time, inshallah. Brothers, it's been a pleasure. It's been good. Hopefully it'll be beneficial for the audience. Inshallah, we catch you soon, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.